said, yeah. He said, yes, I thought it was okay. I said, it is, isn't it? I said, what do you want, Oliver? And what Oliver wanted was just a little more nastiness. And he was willing, if I was going to be angry at him for the rest of the picture, as he stood right next to camera with his script, looking at it, not even looking at me, then that was so be it. And that's his kind of commitment, but as a result, I won an Oscar, and he made me a better actor for it, so I will always be indebted to that.
Michael Douglas. My guests on today's Arts Hour are the filmmaker Pierre Foldes and the cultural critic Larushka Ibanzadeh. Larushka, what do you think Michael Douglas's greatest work has been?
I think if you're going to use the word greatest, then you really have to go for the two films that he won the Oscar for, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And I think lots of people don't realise he's a very successful producer as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and of course Wall Street in 1987. I think it's very interesting him saying that he's more comfortable as a character actor, because of course in a way Gordon Gekko, his character in Wall Street, wasn't really the lead. That was Charlie Sheen, sort of young ingenue, but of course he completely stole the show in Wall Street as Gordon Gekko, this wily, oily corporate raider who says things like lunch is for wimps. Yeah. And of course the greed is not good. I think before anyone says it, I know it's not greed is good, it is, the point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for the lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. That's the actual quote.
Oh, well done.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you for bringing that to our attention. We could do a whole programme, couldn't we, the Arts Hour, on misquoted movie quotes. Superhero movies are supporting movie theatres and streaming services are supporting smaller films. Do you agree with his analysis?
I think broadly, I think that streaming services have been an absolute godsend for people making smaller movies. Definitely Netflix sort of has made a thing of supporting particularly documentaries. I think the worrying thing is when with these superhero films started going straight to streaming and bypassing cinemas altogether, and then everyone went into a complete panic, like what is anyone going to see in the cinema? It's like the only reason we have to go to the theatre has to be something on the scale of Avatar, Way of the Water, or Top Gun Maverick, a huge movie. And I think we've kind of fallen out of love or out of the habit of just going to see any old thing at the cinema.
I haven't, I have to say, but maybe I'm a minority. Pierre, what about you? As a filmmaker, as a director, would you be interested in working on a superhero movie?
Oh yeah, right away. Actually, this what I mentioned just earlier about that book I'm adapting, it's not at all a superhero movie, obviously. Nonetheless, it will be shot also with a green screen and all kinds of special effects, or even more advanced technology of the same kind. So I love going further than just what live action can do simply.
Thank you both. You're listening to The Arts Hour with me, Nikki Beattie, on the BBC World Service. Malala Yousafzai came to the world's attention when, at the age of 15, and already a vocal advocate for girls' education, she was shot by a member of the Taliban. In the decades since, she's continued to fight for education. She won the Nobel Peace Prize, and now at 25 she's just executive produced a short documentary, Stranger at the Gate. It was Oscar nominated in the Best Documentary Short category this year. The film tells the story of Richard Mack McKinney, a US Marine veteran who was planning an Islamophobic terror attack on a mosque in Indiana, only to change his mind and be won over by congregants whilst visiting the mosque. The BBC's Nuala McGovern asked Malala about this Hollywood journey.
Hollywood is a place for storytelling, and I believe that everybody deserves a chance to make it there and to tell stories from their point of view. I am really excited that I am a 25-year-old Pakistani Muslim young woman who made it to this place, because we know that we need to make sure that it is open to people from all backgrounds. And we are seeing more representation of South Asian people, but there's a lot more work that needs to be done. When we look at television, when we look at movies, we often realize that it's missing the perspective of so many people. And when you look at the representation of Muslims especially, they make up 25% of the population, but only 1% of them make it to the movies, to the screen. So we want to be given the opportunity where we can show things from our point of view. I'm really excited to be working now and to be part of some incredible documentaries and movies as well.
Well, let's get into one of these documentaries, because you're joining us because of Stranger at the Gate. This is a film that you're supporting, really being an ambassador for. as executive producer. This is an extraordinary story. I watched it and was gobsmacked at times. What did you think when you first watched it?
I remember watching it for the first time. I was in my living room and I watched it on my laptop together with my husband. I had never heard the story before, so I did not know what to anticipate, and I was just completely shocked by the end of it. What a powerful story it was, how the life of a person can change by human sympathy and compassion and kindness. I personally believe in those values, and it is quite difficult to preach about them without being able to show it to people how life-changing these could be. But in this short film, we can see that happening. We can see how this kind Muslim family open their hearts and their doors to this stranger who is secretly planning to kill all of them. And it's their kindness and compassion that really changes the life of this person, Mac, who later on changes his mind and he wants to spread the message of love to others.
Malala Yousafzai and Stranger at the Gate is available to view on YouTube. My guests on today's Arts Hour are the cultural critic Larushka Ivanzadeh and the film director Pierre Foldes. Larushka, thoughts on the film?
I thought it was incredibly effective. It's so simple and pared down, and it's how lovely is it to see a film that's just championing kindness. And I really loved the way when it began, it felt like it was going to be this sensational true crime story. So you hear this young woman with a voiceover talking about her amazing dad, but you always hear about mass murderers and how terrifying they are, but you can never really imagine a person to be in the same house as you. So you think, oh my God, it's going to be this chilling story. And then it's almost the antidote to that.
The category of Best Documentary Short, won by India, by the way, for The Elephant Whisperers this year. What are the challenges of telling a story in 40 minutes or less?
I think 40 minutes is almost too long. I want something if it's short, let's make it short. I think the main challenge that I've seen, I've been on the jury for a number of short film festivals, is that a short should have the integrity of a short. It should be the length that it's meant to be. It shouldn't feel like it's an extract for a longer film or a calling card for something else.
That was going to be my next question. Aren't they really calling cards for a fuller version? And you know, and also, where do people see these films?
Oh, well, there are a number of platforms. Let me think. There's Film Do, which is Film DOO, and that's great for international shorts.
And is that completely free?
Yeah, that's a free one. Another free one would be Film Shortage, and they're quite good because they do daily picks, so it sort of gives you a bit of curation to go through this enormous morass of films that are out there. If you like something a bit different, there's one called Nowness, and that's more, I'd say it's less narrative led and much more, aesthetic. But I mean, you can't beat YouTube. I mean, that's why I saw Stranger at the Gate, the Malala movie. I must admit.
Me too. Pierre, in terms of making a short film, do you see that it is a challenge to tell it in a short time? Do you prefer to use a fuller version?
No, I think it's a wonderful way of telling a story, because my approach is precisely to do a kind of succession of vignettes, and so vignettes can resemble a short story, and then assembling vignettes and intertwining them. That's how I like to make a longer one. And short films and short stories often, for me, have a nice soft beginning, soft ending. There's something, I don't know, a different kind of storytelling I find extremely attractive.
What about the power of people who could be considered influencers, putting Malala's name on the film? And by the way, singular Malala, like Madonna. Do those high-profile endorsements work?
I think they definitely do. I think they draw attention to a film that could otherwise be lost. Malala was at the Oscars this year, seeing her there, her talking about the film. And I think that's going to just be on the increase as everyone's fighting for more space. I'm thinking recently there was a film called Joyland, which was executive produced by Riz Ahmed, and having him attached to the film also helped because he has a voice. It's obviously a film that he believes in, and he's desperate to talk about, and engaged with it. But yes, that thing where you're executive producer can mean anything.
Larushka, do you think movies and awards are starting to reflect more diversity?
I think the key word there is starting. I think they are starting, and my worry slightly is that people perhaps in the industry think, oh, we finished it already. It's like, oh yeah, diversity's done, and that's so last year, and we don't need to worry about it anymore. And I think there can be a danger of that. It's the kind of idea of keeping it going. I mean, it's wonderful that Michelle Yeoh became the first East Asian woman to get the Best Actress Oscar this year. However, the fact that we're still talking about the first of anything is really makes your eyes roll. I was very cheered, for example, that Ruth E. Carter, no one's really spoken about this, she won for Best Costume, and she is the first black woman to ever win more than one Oscar in any category. So at least you feel that there's something is starting to move, and we don't have to just have one first and then nothing else happens again.
Thank you both so much. You're with the Arts Hour on the BBC World Service. I'm Nikki Beattie. Ke Huy Quan won this year's Best Supporting Actor Oscar for his role as Waymond Wang in Everything Everywhere All at Once, alongside fellow Oscar winners Michelle Yeoh and Jamie Lee Curtis. He rose to fame as a child actor, best known for his roles in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom with Harrison Ford and The Goonies. After a 20-year break from acting, he returned to the big screen, and what a return it's proven to be. The BBC's Ali Plum asked Ke Huy Quan about filming after such an acting gap.
I always feel, even though when I was much younger, I didn't get a lot of the opportunities that I was craving for, and I had to step away from acting. But I mean, I don't think I could have played this role had I not have my life experience, all the ups and downs, all the peaks and valleys of my life. I was able to do the fanny pack in one day because after I graduated from film school, this wonderful action director named Koi Yuan took me under his wings and taught me how to do action sequences, how to look good doing it, how to shoot it, how to choreograph it. And again, this is like me having that experience, and I brought all of that memories I had and poured into Alpha Waymond. And also, I mean, I have to give a huge credit to our DP, Larkin, because it's amazing that we can do more than 60 setups in one day. And and from the very beginning, the Daniels told me, he says, Key, we have to finish this in one day. I'm so sorry. We just don't have the time and or the money. And they told me that you have to really train yourself and be prepared, because we can't do numerous takes. It's got to be one or two, and then we got to move on. So you either get it, or then we just have to move on. And we were under a lot of pressure.
Extraordinary. I love it when you see pressure that breeds perfection. Like, it's somehow the sort of focus required to get away with it. You can have lightning in a bottle, and then incredible sequences like Jamie Lee Curtis drop kicking down a flight of stairs. That's sometimes
and
just being
and look good doing it too.
Ke Huy Quan, my guests on today's Arts Hour are critic Larushka Ivanzadeh and filmmaker Pierre Foldes. What did you think of his performance, Larushka?
I have to say that I didn't, in the best way, sort of notice it that much in the film. I have to say, it's very strange that this film has won all these awards, 3 out of the 4 acting categories, because it's not a film that strikes you as an actor's showcase. It strikes you as this amazing, original, sort of multiverse hopping blast, but perhaps not that you'd notice the performance as much, except for Michelle Yeoh, who does anchor the whole film.
Do you think his years of working as a stunt coordinator paid off? We heard him talking there about his fanny pack stunt.
Well, it is a film that demands everything, everywhere, all at once from its cast. Yeah, martial arts, acting, everything is thrown in, plus the kitchen sink. So maybe he was just biding his time and just being perfect for all the skills that are now necessary for a Hollywood actor.
It's an amazing comeback, to use that terminology, like Brendan Fraser, who won the Best Actor Oscar for his performance in The Well. Interesting that he wanted to return on screen after seeing Crazy Rich Asians. Any other actors who you can think of who've made spectacular comebacks?
I have to say that this year's Oscars did reflect a kind of Hollywood survival feeling, Brendan Fraser, Ke Huy Quan, but also it made me think, well, they just love that, don't they, the Oscars? I think it's the original Hollywood story, is that Rocky story, Stallone, the underdog, triumph against adversity, back for one last shot. And I think of some of the winners over the years, very recent years. You've had Mickey Rourke, who was also directed by Aaron Aronofsky in The Wrestler, which is the same director as Brendan Fraser had for The Whale. John Travolta, of course, in Pulp Fiction, Michael Keaton in Birdman, Matthew McConaughey, who had his McConaissance, as it was called, from transforming from a rom-com actor to a serious actor for Dallas Buyers Club, Robert Downey Jr.
They're all men.
Yeah, I was about to say they're all men, aren't they? They're all men. I mean, I think with women, you'd have Renée Zellweger back playing Judy Garland.
Good point. Yeah.
But I mean, I think she's the only one I can think of in movies. Perhaps in TV they're more forgiving. Winona Ryder, Jennifer Coolidge, star of White Lotus, who I love, who's been sort of plugging away all these years and has now got this late career burst. But yeah, maybe it's men coming back for one last slug in the ring that they just love in Hollywood.
Pierre, anybody that singles out for you as a great comeback, and it doesn't have to be just in American cinema, it can be anything.
I must say that that's true what you were just saying. It does seem that the Oscars just adore this they do this stereotype of giving these awards to actors who just come back or who do something incredible to their face. Every time I have the same impression, and every time it's that one that wins. I find it quite shocking, actually.
In France, you have the Césars. Do they do a similar thing?
No, it's much more. I wouldn't say there's that stereotype. There's other stereotypes, but definitely not that one.
We want to know what the stereotypes for the Césars are.
I'd say the stereotype for the show is actually that they seem to be having arguments every single time now and making these statements that become scandalous, and everybody is doing their little statement on stage, and I find it completely ridiculous.
You mean making political statements?
Yeah, or talking about some other actor with whom they think has had some scandalous behavior.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I would tune in just for that, I have to say. I have hidden shallows, as you know. Thank you both so much. That's it for part one of the show, but don't go away. Still to come, one of the most famous actors in the world, Anil Kapoor, on his fitness regime, filmmaker Sarah Polley, and I'll be talking to my guest Pierre Foldes about his latest film, Blind Willow Sleeping Woman. The Arts Hour is back after this.
This is the BBC World Service, and here's Harriet Gilbert to tell you about World Book Club.
We've been reading a non-fiction book called Deep South, which takes us on a journey through some of the poorest, most haunted parts of the southern USA. Here to answer questions about it is its author, Paul Theroux.
I've traveled to Patagonia, to Africa, to China. I was sort of ashamed of myself. I should really travel in my own country, places that I'd never been. Not only will I go there, but I'm going to take a road trip and write about it. And I discovered
all around the world.
In some ways it was a dark journey, shadowed by racial segregation, urban decay and unemployment. But there was also light.
I'm interested in human architecture, not in museums or ruins, and I'm traveling to hear people.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clemens, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
I'm Dr. Donald Palmer, and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamb.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamb@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the
darkness.
The whole of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk /COVID vaccination or call 119.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Turn it on. Turn it up.
Body is your ma. Bekutu, show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Star Radio. We don't go nowhere. UK, London. We call them London for home. For here, we call them London. And that's how you know. Just have fun.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Star Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Star Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Smile though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile. If you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Star Radio UK and The Morning Show.
This is Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Star Radio. Star Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Love for you runs deep. All of you makes my heart beat. You make a doubt they fade. Jesus, and that's what makes you great.
Okay, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We want to salute each and every one of you and welcome you to the Starr Radio UK Morning Show. Today is Tuesday, the 28th of March, the year 2023. The time now 10:43 from the House of London. Of course, it is the Tuesday edition of the morning show. So wherever you are this morning, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. From now till 1 o'clock, when we will bring the curtains down, I'm going to be bringing you everything that you need to know from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar. But do me a massive favor, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages, as we do say. All of you, man. Transmitting live on all our social media platforms. For those of you who watch us live on the YouTube, the Starr Radio UK channel, we are not on that. We are not operating on that one or broadcasting on that one. We are broadcasting on our other platform, that is Starr Radio UK. Yeah. Hopefully, in a couple of days' time, it will come back to normal. The technical team are working assiduously on it to make sure that everything pans out nicely. Like I tell you, with the updates that is still going on, we're doing our best to bring you best in everything. But I hope that you enjoyed Mr. Dave West's program last night, The Conscious Reggae Time. Well, it was a wonderful one. Sleeping and shaking your head and shaking your feet whilst in bed, that is a wonderful thing to do. And those of you who were awake as well across the globe, we hope that you enjoyed it. But let me say good morning to my colleagues, Mr. Frank Davis, Mr. Laimi Koiki, and my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy. And then also to the one and only Bishop Adeshina. Good morning to you. My brother Felix all the way in Aberdeen, and Kojo, I hope that you guys are all doing very, very well as well. Anthony Adedeji, good morning to you. Pastor Momo, good morning. Olakunle, good morning to you. Aziz Badasari, good morning. Moyiwa, good morning to you. And Sir Maxwell, how are you doing, sir? And all of you in the UAE, our wonderful listeners there, we salute you. Josino in Moscow, I salute you as well. Okay, let's crack on. At 10:45 the time, I'm going to bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update, of course. Move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, known as Global Trotting. And then we'll be having Mr. Laimi Koiki joining in to bring you updates from Nigeria. We'll continue from there to have a look at some of the other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world as well. At 12 o'clock, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussions. Then at 1 o'clock, we'll bring the curtains down for the end of the program. But I want to hear from you. So wherever you are, don't even think of touching the dial. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, a quick announcement there. This afternoon, exactly at 1:30, BB Clement will be coming your way with BB Means Business. I should be bringing you a continuation of the celebration of the women who have actually made it, or trailblazers in the industry, successful female entrepreneurs. We're going to be looking at them. I'm going to tell you more about them, the guests who are coming on. But another women affairs there, yes, make sure that your dials are logged on Starr Radio UK this afternoon exactly at 1:30. Love for you runs things. Play in the background something from Edith Morrison. Love for you. That's what brings us here every morning. The love that we have for you, that you also have for us, because we know that if you are not there supporting us, what can we do? Nothing. The quote for the day says, if you want to know how tomorrow will look like, then do this thing. Consider the decisions and actions you are taking today, and that will tell you how tomorrow will look like. Alright then. So now let's crack on. Let's move on to some of the how the weather is this morning. Now interestingly, from tomorrow the weather is going to change, but we are still in on the low temperatures. Now rain will gradually fade away through the afternoon, but it will remain cloudy. It will be mostly dry with just a few lingering patches of light rain, a milder day than of late. And tonight we'll see more in the way of cloud, but it should stay largely dry. The odd spot of drizzle is likely under the thicker cloud. It will be a milder night with moderate southwesterly winds. So coming your way from Star Radio UK. Pollen level is going below, UV level is going below, pollution is going below. Sunset 19:26 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 06:46 hours. That brings us to the end of the weather forecast. 10:47, and let me take you straight to the travel updates. Wherever you are, keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the roads, and as we keep you navigated, I promise I'll be on the Starr Radio UK travel update that comes to you every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:48, and what is your travels like? Now, on the underground this morning, District Line has got minor delays, Hammersmith and City, minor delays, Jubilee Line, minor delays. That aside, all the others have got good service there. But London Overground has got severe delays between Stratford and Clapham Junction and Richmond due to an earlier signal failure at Richmond. Good service on all other routes though. Now, London Tramlin, good service, and DLR, good service there as well. Now, to the major roads in London, this is what is happening. I know there is M25 has got some accident there, so if you can do your best to avoid that place. Between junction 14 and junction 16, there is a serious tailback there. You don't want to be caught in that. But A24, A4, and Central London Red routes have all got closures. That aside, A13 has got serious delays. No exceptional delays on other routes though. Now straight onto the river bus, and I can tell you shortly, good service there as well. The London Cable Car, good service there. Now keep your eyes on the roads. Moving on straight to the final segment of the travel updates, and that is the National Rail. On the National Rail this morning, Great Anglia, ScotRail, and Southwestern Railways have all got minor delays. Also, Southeastern has got minor delays. But Transport for Wales has got special service, so check before you embark on your journey. That aside, all the others have got good service, and that's why I would say it once again. As I would say it loud. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the road.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer, and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Okay, welcome back. So if you have not taken your vaccination for the COVID, well, it's a campaign that is going on. Yes, make sure you go and get it. And there's screening as well. Various screenings going on via the NHS. Breast screening. We know those who come from our parts of the world, or yes, especially Black Africans. We don't like going to do those things, but it's very, very important. There are various screening for the men as well, testicular ones as well, what do you call the other one as well, prostate, and all sorts. So please make sure you go get whatever screening done. Go do your MOT and check that your car is working very, very well. What about that? All right then. So now let's move on to some of the stories making the rounds this morning. We'll have Mr. Olabi Koiki joining in the next few moments at 11 o'clock, where he's going to bring you updates from Nigeria. But he's going to be telling us more about what we're going to be looking at in a moment. But wherever you are, yes, stay tuned and let's look at some of the stories making the rounds this morning. Okay. So here in the UK, William Hill has been found a record 19.2 million for failing to protect customers. That is a gambling company. Okay, so we'll be telling you more about that. And then Yusuf to be formally elected as First Minister. That's in Scotland. Well, the first Muslim Asian leader for Scotland there as well as First Minister. We're going to be seeing what is going to be what he's actually going to be doing. Do you think he's a man for the time? Maybe somebody was others were suggesting that, well, maybe he can now have a proper banter with the Prime Minister. So what do you think? Well, we'll tell you more about that in a moment. But the billionaire son admits role in students' death Farouk Abdul Haq, who fled to Yemen after the death of a student in London, admit his involvement. Oh my goodness, will he face the full rigors of the law, or will the father's riches help him out? Well, we'll be telling you more about that. Trevor was brave on Good Friday deal, Jerry Adams. Now, you know, this Northern Ireland Protocol and everything that has gone on 25 years on, we're going to be celebrating the Northern Ireland Protocol on Good Friday Agreement on I think a couple of weeks to come, the 25th anniversary. But with everything that is happening at the moment in Stormont, where they are not sitting and everything, do you think there is anything worth celebrating? The DUP, they are taking some stance that, you know what, yeah, because it's not us in the leadership that we don't want to agree to anything, and that is one party holding the whole of the country to ransom. Do you think that is fair, or do you think some reforms need to be done? We'll be telling you more about all that in a moment. But it's Starr Radio UK. When it comes to Nigeria, my goodness, promises of so-called men of God designed to destabilize Nigeria. That's what the federal government is saying now. Now I think they are turning their attention onto the men of God. Some Nigerians who claim to hear from God now oxygenate, escalate, and poison their socio-economic and political space with laughable and troubling positions. Well, if they are saying, you and I were not there, they saw it, they are saying it. Is it that the leadership think that, well, why are they saying this, and they think they need to bash them, or what they are saying lies? I will be telling you more about that. I'm a man of faith, so when it comes to things like that, it's quite difficult one, but we'll be trying to make sense of it, because in Ghana we have the IGP saying that, well, when it comes to end of the year, where there are all sort of prophecies where some say, well, this one is going to die, this is going to die. Now they decide to buy all of them. They say, you don't give any prophecy, international, but you can prophesy to your own church members. Well, some people have said that, well, they think that they are trying to calm down on religious freedom. But looking at what the federal government is saying now, do you think it is fair? Assessment of what is going on, and what do you think can be done about it? We'll be telling you more about all that in a moment. It is Starr Radio UK. In the US, well, yesterday, 28-year-old lady went on rampage, shooting, killing 6. But some are crying. They said, well, all this shooting is not enough, blah blah blah. But you know what? They will cry, make a bit of noise. After that, the political leaders will come and make all their statements, then they go back, same old, until more people die. Okay, but they look at the number of people who are dying. They say that, well, when it comes to terrorism in the country, people who die from gunshots, okay, are more than those who are killed by terrorists. But we try to waste, or not, let me not put it waste, but spend much money, or so much money on that, but not, neglecting what is happening right now our nostrils. Now, what do you think about all that? We'll be telling you more about that in a moment. Germany sends much awaited tanks to Ukraine. The first 18 of their cutting-edge tanks are sent amid reports UK Challenger 2s have also arrived. Now, do you think that is going to turn the tide when it comes to the war? Well, we have Putin saying that I'm coming to now bring my nuclear, some of my nuclear arsenal very, very close to you. Yes, so Belarus is going to host one of them there, very close to you, so that is that he's trying to threaten the Western world, or what? We'll be telling you more about that. I don't know what you think about all that, but lots more going to be coming your way. Taliban arrests Afghan girls, education activist. Now, Mutiola Weza has long traveled to remote parts trying to improve access to education for all children. They don't believe in education. The women have to stay home and then just give birth, procreate, and cook. That's what they have to be doing. That's what they believe in. And you know, some people to believe that, and they support them. Interesting. Who support them? Boko Haram. All right then. You want to know more? Stay tuned. Don't you go away. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Hotel Rwanda hero lands in Qatar after prison release. White House officials said Paul Bagina will soon be making his way back to the U.S. Well, he was incarcerated for some involvement in the war itself, but he's been released. Okay, we'll be telling you more about that. Ghana's anti-gay bill modified. President says the President Akufo-Addo says Parliament should consider the sensitivity of the human rights aspect. So, are they going to take a leaf from the Ugandans' manual, or are they going to go their own way? Especially when you go borrowing with your calabash in hand. You don't have a say. You are going to do as per what those you are going to beg are telling you. But what do you think about all that? Lots more going to be coming your way from there. Ethiopian Nan and piano queen dies at 99. May her soul rest in perfect peace. This and a lot more going to be coming your way from across the globe. So stay tuned, don't you go away. Starr Radio UK. Let's enjoy this song from Sammy, the late Sammy Okposo. And it says Gratitude. 28th day in March. Almost 3 months gone. From the beginning of the year, looking at the cost of living and everything, and you are still alive. Nigeria has not happened to you. My goodness, you got something to celebrate, isn't it? Right. Enjoy this song and we'll be with you. Stay tuned. Starr Radio UK.
Good God. Now look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, I have some gratitude in my spirit. I have some gratitude in my spirit. Ask your neighbor, do you have some of it? Because I'm about to unleash my gratitude. Now, you know what? Once you feel it, don't allow your neighbor to stop you. Once you feel it, go in. Come on. Come on, everybody. Clap your hands like this. Come on. One more. Everybody say, I thank you. I thank you. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. I thank you. And I thank you. Oh Lord. In looking at my life, you got so for me. Oh, I thank you. Oh Lord. Come on. Everybody. Dimension. Are you ready? Come on. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for loving me. And all the things you have. Come on. Lord, I thank you. Oh Lord. Lord, I praise you. Come on. Thank you for loving me. Lord. Come on, sing. Lord, I thank you. Lord, I thank you. Lord, I praise you. Lord, I praise you. Thank you for loving me. You have done for me. Lord, I thank you. Hallelujah. Lord, I praise you.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Come on. Come on. Dimension.
Well. Samuel Apostle. Yes, I know for sure that he delivers. And the late Samuel Apostle. And I continue to say, may his soul rest in perfect peace. 4 minutes past the top of the hour at a time. Starr Radio UK, the station, the morning show, the program.
Come on.
And as I would say, you know what I would say. Welcome on board.
Lord, I thank you. Lord, I praise you. Lord, I praise you.
That is my singular honor once again to welcome the White Lion. I know Mr. Frank Davis is there. He'll be joining us in a moment. But let's welcome the White Lion to the house once again. Let's say good morning to you, Yummy.
Well, a very good morning to you back in the studio, Mr. Archie. Good morning, Frank. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the globe. And good morning to all our viewers from the sister broadcast as well. And welcome once again to Starr Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station. And a very, very good morning to one of our, very good brother watching us right now, Prince Ezema Iyinacho. I'm sure you remember, when we had Amoyele show in the studio.
Yeah.
Prince Eze was with us as well during that, program, and is actually watching us from the state as well, even though it's quite a bit early right now. But we say good morning and thank you for being part of Starr Radio UK this morning.
Yes, Prince Eze, good morning to you. Thank you very much to you and to every one of you who watch us. And we know that the time differences, but you still continue to watch us, and we are so grateful to you for doing so there as well. But Yomi, how are you? How are you doing, and how is the family?
Well, I'm doing very great. The family is fine, but like you always ask the question, the family, then you look at what happened yesterday in America. A whole family, about 6 different families have been affected. A nation has been affected. But as long as we can still say no to gun control, say no to gun in UK. I think even though we know that some of these ammunitions are not to be used, but we still find them within the the UK system as well. But not like in America where you can just easily walk into the shop with a license and you can buy one. But eventually we don't know who is at the end of buying such very, very weapon as well. But we are doing very well. And the family is great. We couldn't join yesterday, but we're doing great, and we're good to be back again this morning.
Wow, listeners, that is the one and only Mr. Olayomi Koiki once again coming your way. We're going to be looking at some of the stories making the rounds in Nigeria. Now, yesterday, I know you were not live on, but some of the stories that you posted that we had to look at was the fact that the NLC decided were pondering as to whether they should back off with the demonstrate or the sit at home or the strike that was supposed to take place tomorrow. Now, what has been the outcome of that?
Well, Mr. Archie, if you believe, some of these organizations, or like Nigerian Labour Congress, you probably have to believe everything that comes out again from the federal government as well. They work hand in hand, when it comes to, some of these NLC. Remember that, when the president came in February, he actually promised that, they will be going on strike straight away. But that didn't happen. And then later on, they came back to say there might be, strike as well. I mean, this has been around, since 1978. The Nigerian Labour Congress has been around, and they're meant to be part of those that would, literally support, the population, the citizens that are crying out loud. I can confirm that, from what we are hearing right now, like you said, the NLC may call off the planned strike, which is meant to be today. And the reason for that, again, is the Nigerian Labour Congress will likely call off the planned nationwide strike today. This follows a meeting on Monday between the NLC new president Joe Ajero, the Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Emefiele, and the Labour Minister Chris Ngege. Chris Ngege has been a very, very controversial man in the first place, because remember that there was a time he was told that doctors are leaving Nigeria. He said, well, but at least they're bringing forex back into the country, but I'm not sure whether bringing the forex back is more important than bringing the life of Nigerians. Like I was reading this morning rather, the lifespan of a Nigerian is about 58 years old, whereas compared to UK is about 80 years old. Even though we are told the world is overpopulated, Elon Musk says the world is not overpopulated because more people are not giving birth. And like somebody was saying on one of the the comment, that we have about 1,200 Yoruba women that are not giving birth. The question then goes back to why has this all happened? It's just because the federal government and the Emefiele believe that they might be able to change the narrative with the Naira, and that would take me back to one of the headlines that I was going to touch on this morning, that's got to do with deposit money banks are set to raise their cash withdrawal limit from 20,000 Naira to, guess what, 50,000 Naira, ranging to cover 80,000 to 100,000 according to different banks. The move, it was learned, will help bank branches to tackle lingering queues in some cities across the country. The Central Bank of Nigeria had on Friday also directed that operation should also available on Saturday and Sunday as part of a coordinated effort to ease the circulation of the old and the new Naira note. But as I speak to you right now, there's still issues when it comes to getting money out of the bank as of this morning in Nigeria.
Wow. Listeners, Star Radio UK, Mr. Olaimi Koike, bringing you updates from Nigeria. Now, let's move on. If you're having any problems when it comes to you getting your hands on your Naira, let us know. And do you think that the decision that the NLC took as well, that, he said that if you believe anything that they are saying, then you believe that if somebody told you that they just came from God early this morning, and you say, yes, they did. Well, prophecies of so-called men of God designed to destabilize Nigeria. We have some men of God, my Bishop Adeshina, we have Pastor Momo, Pastor Chidi, a few big men of God who are on this platform. But for the federal government now to turn their attention to the men of God, saying that they are rather going to be, destabilizing the country and doing all sorts. Meanwhile, you can see blatantly that we have people going, kidnapping people. You have people queuing at various banks, not getting money. A journalist dying, though he's been paid, yet because he couldn't access money, he had to walk from his home to wherever he was going to. And you say that, well, because somebody is prophesying and saying that is what is going to happen, Yomi.
Well, it's not the first time that there's always problem between the government and likewise the men of God as well. It is one of the most important aspect of Nigeria, because we believe in miracles. Miracles has always been part of us, and we have a number of churches in Nigeria, and across, some of their branches outside Nigeria. But the headline says, prophecies of the so-called men of God designed to destabilize Nigeria. This is coming from the federal government. Some Nigerians who claim to hear from God now oxygenate, escalate, and poison the social, economic, and political space with laughable and troubling positions. What could make the federal government talk like this? We know that before the election, there was quite a lot of prophecies that was coming up. Some of those prophecies were probably not yet. Maybe we still have to wait to see, because until Tinubu gets the battle on May 29, maybe some of those prophecies might still come true. Let me give us an example of some of the prophecies that I've listened to. That there will not be, and this is not coming from me. This is coming from one of the men of God in Nigeria, saying that Buhari is not going to hand over power on May 29. There will be an interim government. That interim government will probably be by Osibajo. Osibajo is currently with us in London, right here in King's Cross, where he was having a discussion yesterday. And eventually, Peter Obi is going to win the court case. And Peter Obi will be sworn in, but not on the May 29, because Tinubu will be arrested before May 29. These are just some of those prophecies that is out there in the public domain. It has become evident that predictions are not prophecy at the new game in town, Mr. Rousseau said on Monday. Mr. Rousseau stated that he was worried by strange predictions and hype religious ventilation over political issues in the country, and that the nation will be running into crisis if the trend was not properly checked.
Now, it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. But I'm looking at it from this point of view that, look, if people are making such prophecies, okay, you and I are not there to ascertain whether God was actually speaking to them. Now, let's take it that maybe the person has actually seen something. All right, actually, all that we have to do is to wait. The security agencies have to just wait and see when, if the date that this individual who has been prophesying gave, the May whatever, if it doesn't come to pass, then how we can then apprehend the person. So for the federal government to go on to be saying all those things, they might be thinking that he's trying to put the cart before the horse. Virtually, even the case that is in court already, somebody can charge him for contempt, right?
Well, you're quite right, and likewise, we've seen also that some, even as much as some of the utterances have not warrant any kind of arrest. I mean, these faces you're looking right there, they're very popular faces within the Nigeria context. For those that are following, Nigeria Christendom in the country. But Mr. Ruswan, the World Craft Council Africa Regional President, has now appealed to Nigerians to hold on to the best cultural and religious teachings that bind Nigerians together. Some might say, what is Nigerians? Because those are the indigenous people that probably will ask such a question. He said the council had worked with religious leaders to restore peace in areas where crises are born, mostly Jos, Kaduna, and Abuja. Mr. Rosuwa said the council also networked with some of our traditional rulers during the annual National Festival of Art and Culture to ensure a socialite peace.
Okay. Well, we will wait and see. I mean, when those of you who belong to the faith, when prophecies are made like that, we wait to see, because the good book, Paul did say that, well, there shouldn't be lots of prophecies, but when somebody prophesies, you can judge somebody prophesy, you sit and then judge what the person is saying. So we will all be judging, we'll be saying what they are saying. I don't know, Frank is busy there, but I'll still give him time. He will have time to comment on that. I know that he loves the prophecies that go.
You say, Olawumi, good morning to you.
Very good morning.
Okay, and good morning to our listeners. So allow me, let's talk after the program. You see, Archie, there's one thing about prophecy. As far as I'm concerned, there are prophets in this world. In fact, each of us is a prophet, one way or the other. We might not be officially called prophets, and probably we might not be given the mantle like the the horns that were given to Akufo-Addo and be called prophets.
Oh, okay.
But I do believe in one way or the other, God speaks to individuals.
Yeah, of course.
If not, then I think our relationship with God is useless. At the end of the day, each father and mother sometimes tells the children about what is expected and what they should be expecting in future. Some might come, some might not come. I do not have a problem with prophecy. I have a problem with the commercialization of prophecy. That is number one. I also do have a problem with people who lie to prophesy. There are certain things that are too psychological. Actually, the clouds are coming. You are in church and say, I prophesy that the rains will be heavy. If you study geography, some of these things, you know.
The gathering of the clouds to the east, to the west. Oh, you know
some of these things. As a pastor in the church, I do not doubt that yes, sometimes it's not prophecy. Sometimes they can see or they hear what is happening within their congregation.
Yeah.
It might not be prophecy, but it's experience that okay, here I am. If this country goes down, the collection I see 1,000 people a week. They come to church 3 times a day. If each of them give me 10 naira, at the end of the day, I make about 100,000 naira every day. 3 times a week, 300,000 naira. If anything goes wrong, that church will go down, and therefore I go from where I was to ground zero. So they also look at it, the fear of losing what God has given them is also playing, and therefore they also have to speak. Are you getting? Actually, some of those prophecies are to help calm the situation, also preserve what God has given them. God has given them, people, they are shepherds. At the end of the day, with the shepherds comes the responsibility of looking after the shepherds. It also comes with gifts to help the shepherds. I'm not going to judge who uses the gift to help the shepherds.
It seems that the economy of Nigeria is already affecting some of our churches, because I got a call from one of a church leader, on the 21st, and he actually made about 1,700 naira because not much people are donating into the church because of the credit crunch in Nigeria.
That's true. I had a personal experience with someone. I was having during the crossover night in December. Someone, I'm not going to mention him, but I can talk about it. Behind the scenes. This is a man who claimed to spend over 60,000 on adverts. As of now, if you go to Jowulu, those of you who are listening to are probably from Ghana. Once you move from Royal Fiesta Hotel, on your right, you can see a big billboard over there. The billboard is there. Advertise about crossover night. He claims he spent about 65,000 on adverts, going from radio station to saying how God is going to get him to unleash prophecies on the nation and all that things. And he ended up taking home 35,000. And he got lost. He got angry with the church, the financial committee, which I happen to have a friend. The guy made loss, and it wasn't easy.
You're right. And just like a comment said, Olatunji says, well, forget about all those pastors of doom. Buy yourself a Bible and pray for yourself.
Amen.
Of course.
Amen. So I think the government going after the prophets or the church, I think that's not their responsibility. They should leave the church alone. At the end of the day, whatever has happened in Nigeria, even a fool knows that there are going to be repercussions. Even a fool knows that there's going to be revolt. At the end of the day, if they don't revolt, if Nigerians don't revolt, then they also do not know what they want. So all those demonstrations that we are seeing, you cannot lay it at the doorstep of the church. The church and the mosques are there to help control the population to a large extent. However, they cannot keep quiet when we see thuggery, thievery, criminality, murder going on right in their faces. No, it's not going to happen.
Okay, it's not going to happen. Hey, Starr Radio UK, what is your take on that? There are some comments that are coming through, and put your comments as and when they come through. We will read them as well. And as they say on the other platform, yes, we are on the the other YouTube channel, that is Starr Radio UK. Starr Radio UK. Just type in Starr Radio UK, not a channel, Starr Radio UK, and it will pop up on the YouTube. But I promise you, in a couple of days time, whatever is going on, the technical team are working on it. It should be back and running. Okay. Yeah, so now let's move on to some other stories making the rounds this morning from Nigeria. The Abacha died on eve of Dad's planned execution. That is what Dia's son said. So was Dia killed? Those of us who don't know Dia, can you give us a bit of background to it? And the death of Abacha, did it stop Dia's killing or assassination or execution?
Well, Dia himself just passed away, yesterday, I believe, yesterday, if not over the weekend, according to the family. Yeah, I think it was over the weekend. General Dia was the chief of staff to, the late Sani Abacha himself, and he was one of those that Nigeria, as a former military person as well, Donaldson Oladipo Dia, was born on April 1944. He actually died on the 26th. Was a Nigerian general. He was also a lawyer who served as the head of state, chief of head of state for Sani Abacha. I'm sure a lot of people remember, Abacha very well. But Dia's son is the one granting that interview that, as I'm trying to, okay, I got it here back. Abacha died on the eve of that planned execution of Dia. So what actually happened then, it was a military dictator, the late Sani Abacha, that we've now remember that every time when Nigeria is broke, there's always an ATM about Abacha that we just have to knock on, and he's going to give us the money back. So much of the money has been returned back to Nigeria. But, Babatunde Dia, the son of the former chief of defense staff, the late Oladipo General Dia, speaks about the life and times of his father. And some of what he was saying was that, Abacha actually wanted to execute not just Dia. Obasanjo would have been part of that execution because of the plot to overthrow Abacha that Dia was also involved in as well. So that is what the son is actually saying, that his father escaped the death because Abacha died on the eve of that execution.
So interesting. I bet Dia was praying. He was one of those who were praying that something will happen, miracle, and he had his miracle.
From what we were told, it seems that Dia, family and those that knows him within the Ijebu side of Ogun State, actually did a lot. I mean, this part of the it could be conspiracy theory that they actually worked a lot to make sure that their son did not get executed, and maybe that led to the death of Abacha. As we all know, Africa is full of different things, and that's exactly what we just started with the prophecies coming out from the men of God, that the federal government is saying, just stop that nonsense. It's not helping the economy and the security of the country. Just pray for the peace, and that is what you're meant to be doing. So people believe that the community that close to Dia as at that time also were probably doing a lot. Maybe that killed Abacha. That's for science to detect.
Well, maybe that killed Abacha, but we and I were not there. But at least Abacha's death, every time, like Olami said, the country is broke, they go ATM. Just make sure you put the right code. Boom, some money come from Abacha from the grave. Well, Juliet Makapela, good morning to you. He says, Nigeria, what do you think will now happen? Do we have a better Nigeria? Will it help build Africans? Well, some are saying that they want the country divided, and so we'll be coming to that. It says thanks for the update on to the locals as well. And Olakunle says, good morning, Mr. Archie and White Lion. Much love and respect. Okay, Olakunle, well done. He joined us on the YouTube channel as well. As many of you who want to go there, you can go there. Just type in Starr Radio UK. Okay, Starr Radio UK, and it will pop up there.
So, Archie.
Yes.
One thing our leaders must not forget. That whatever we do, thinking that we actually trying to hold on to power, bribe our way, kill people to power, it sends signals to the outside world, and that informs the way they deal with us. I'll give you a classic example. Look, do you think if this current administration or the administration to be sworn in Nigeria, should it hold? Should Anchor hold that Tinubu remain the president?
Yeah.
Do you think if I am to negotiate with him, knowing that all they understand, the language they understand, is foul and fair and foul? Foul play is the order of the day. Do you think if I'm going to go as a business person to negotiate with them, I've already worked out all these people want is foul play?
Yeah.
What do I do to be able to present to them things that will not help Nigerians, things that will be foul, but to achieve the immediate goal that they want, which is money,
power, and
power.
money.
That's all. And that is how. Yesterday I watched a video when Ghanaians were complaining about the U.S. military stripping and basically searching what they call the Ghanaian security. So you have come to my country and you are rather searching my security out there, but you have to screen my security. I said, what do you expect? Here you have even parliament in Ghana where people are bribed. So if people can, your parliamentarian can even be bribed for less than even $20,000. Do you think the US should take your security seriously? If your parliamentarian can accept a $10,000 as a bribe to do something that is unthinkable, and you expect them to say, okay, oh, your security has expect less than that.
Yeah,
people
want some thousand and the woman will go
and especially in this climate of global political hostility, do you think the US should basically allow Ghanaian security to be actually those screening those who come close to their vice president? I wouldn't do it. Not even the angels from heaven will approve of that, because you have demonstrated that you are not capable.
Default position.
You are a crooked person by default. You know, you are a crooked person by default.
Oh my God! My God! Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK.
At least you got the visit which Nigeria did not get.
Well, maybe she will come on the next trip when Tinubu becomes the president. But whatever we are,
we didn't get Obama. You got Obama.
Yeah.
You got Harris, Kamala Harris. So you should be grateful. I saw the video as well. In terms of the search. But at least, like you said, they would not compromise, their own security. Even here, we saw that when Biden came, his motorcade had to drive away from the African president. They were all locked in one particular.
Well, listen, it's Starr Radio UK. Nigeria says that. What are you meeting the president? The Tinubu? No, Tinubu is not. They say he's in France. They say he's not coming to the UK, so we're not very sure.
London, from what his handlers are saying, because he was sending a greeting to the family of Dia that he's also known to very well as well, because during the Dia and Abacha was also after the late MK Abiola died, and there was a lot of issues regarding, and Tinubu was part of those that formed Nadeco. So we believe that Tinubu is presently now in London.
Okay. So Juliet, that's some information for you. We'll be telling you what is happening on the African continent. We're going to Kenya and all the rest. You also want to know what is happening there. We'll be bringing it right to your doorstep, so don't you go away. But let's go quickly to a couple of stories from Nigeria. That's quite one pertains to the IPOP. We had the International Terrorism Index, Global Terrorism Index that placed IPOP as a terrorist group, but now they have retracted that decision that they made, or that person that they made. And again, we have the Amnesty also making some statements pertaining to worsening conflict in Nigeria as well. Now, that too, let's look at it.
Well, last week, remember that when the Global Terrorism Index released that 2022 terrorism index for around the globe, IPOB was included at number 10. That flagged a lot of concern, not just to the IPOB that believe that they shouldn't be in that list, but also to some individuals as well and different organizations that I was able to engage in some private meeting, and they were very, very concerned. But the question then is, what has made Global Terrorism Index to retract what they've actually put out from the information that came out yesterday, I know I was not on yesterday, but this is what they actually said yesterday. The Global Terrorism Index has retracted its earlier announcement of ranking the indigenous people of Biafra as the 10th deadliest terrorist group in the world. The GTI report, published annually by the Institute for Economics and Peace, IPE, had ranked Nnamdi Kanu's led IPOB as the 10th deadliest terrorist group in the world. But in a statement yesterday on their website, GT referred to IPOB as a pro-Biafra secessionist movement and not a terrorist organization. In the statement was titled Statement Regarding the Indigenous People of Biafra and the Global Terrorism Index. It read, the Indigenous People of Biafra is a pro-Biafra secessionist movement based in southeast Nigeria that aims to establish an independent Biafra nation. IPOB was proscribed as a terrorist group by the Nigerian government in 2017. In the recent years, IPOB has been linked to several attacks which have been attributed to its paramilitary wing, the Eastern Security Network, IPOB ESN. The group has not claimed responsibility for any of these attacks. It is important, therefore, to differentiate between the peaceful activities of the group and its alleged involvement in a violent activity. We have today updated the Global Terrorism Index 2023 to reflect this necessary clarification. Institute of Economics and Peace.
Okay, quite interesting there, But pertaining to the insecurity in the country and the assessment by Amnesty International, shameless leadership failure, worsening conflict in Nigeria and other nations, Amnesty's assessment of it. What have Amnesty said so far?
Well, Amnesty have really been concerned, when it comes to, the handling of, insecurity in Nigeria and torture and disappearance of individuals as well. The death of scores of protesters were reported and attributed to excessive use of force by the security force. Not just in Nigeria, they also mentioned the Chad, the DRC, the Guinea, and the Kenya as well. But what we can confirm is, the sub-Saharan Africa, a scourge of conflict, continue to cause suffering amid the double standard and the failure of leadership. Most Nigerians believe that the leadership is the problem, while some disagree and says the country is just going through a lot unstable. But Amnesty International report on the 2022 highlight the double standard through the word of human rights and failure of international community to unite around consistently apply. As we know, Nigerian government refused to allow Nnamdi Kanu to be released, even though the court has already said so. But part of the human right, and tomorrow maybe on Niger Voices, we might be, just as we did last week with the U.S. human rights report on Nigeria, it seems that the report on the Amnesty might be part of our conversation tomorrow as well. Star Radio UK, I will come back again to you in the studio at 11:34.
Okay, Juliet says indigenous communities need to be protected, etc. Everybody. I say that when their leadership are put in place, we can all not be leaders of our countries. If not, that we will not have a place. Okay, so we have to vote for some people to be leaders, but they have to make sure that they are serving our interests, not their own parochial interests, their pockets and their family. No, it shouldn't be that way. But when it comes to elections, what do we see? They bribe you, they give you something small, and I don't know. At times do I say little-mindedness? Is that too hard? But somewhere, somehow, we have our people who will accept pretense and then they'll go vote for them, and then they'll come and rule over you, kick you, do all sorts to you. But our leaders serving our interests. Lots more going to be coming your way from there. With the time now 11:35, let's go back to Yomi for the rest of the story that's making the rounds, and then what is happening on the social media platform. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, another very great news coming from Lagos State. Another fire incident is just breaking as we speak right now. Ongoing fire incident at Balogun Market in Lagos State. Well, we can also say that there's a lot of several fire service trucks on ground, but access to the buildings is difficult because of the nature of the area. Traders are seen moving out their wares. Traders struggling to remove their wares. Let's see if we can get, one thing about, Lagos is because of the, it's so compressed. And when fire like this start, it could be very, very difficult, for fire services to get the hang into where the fire is. We see if we can get the image, through the background, and then we go straight to some of those more other headlines, and we go straight to the social media. Once again, this is just, the news that is breaking as we speak right now. in Lagos State. And as you can see, the fire is actually behind, and if you see that there's a building in the front, the fires at the back is just so compressed. And maybe while the planning was done, they didn't understand that Lagos was going to be overpopulated. And these are some of the reasons why people are saying that maybe we should decongest Lagos State. But the only way you can do so is to allow the ports to be open and running, functioning in some of the other ports apart from the Lagos port that we have, which is more of the reason why we have, as of today, 20 million people, both Lagosians and those that are residing and working and living as well, because as we know, Lagos itself is just another country of its own. Let's go now straight to one or two more headlines and go straight to the social media at exactly 11:37 a.m. As we do know, and the Yorubas are following the situation, as we know that the new Scottish leader is saying.
Okay, listeners, just bear with us. Go on.
Why Rishi Sunak is saying that now, my grandparent came here and it's always been one country, and I'm going to do everything to keep it. So we're going to see how that is going to play out, between Scotland and the UK right here, as we continue to monitor that as well. Osun Amotekun arrest 2 boys for stealing food and money. IU must go. The G5 governors Atiku campaign has now clashed. Remember that Atiku lost because some of the governors did not endorse him, did not even support him, did not even campaign for him, and yet they are now also saying that the chairman of the PDP must now go, and it seems that everything is crumbling so fast as well on the PDP. Not a very good news as well. Lagos tenant has stabbed a friend to death during argument in Lagos State. What a very sad one there. So we're going to go straight now and see more of what is trending on the social media. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trending at about 17,000 this morning. There's also Wari is trending, and the Naira is trending at 27,000. So we pick on the Naira because that seems to be more of a concern to a lot of us here because of our family back home. They can't get access to that money, and it's becoming a very, very big problem as well. So so let's see what people are saying on the Naira. Once again, Naira drops to 461.50 Naira against the dollar. That is not in the black market, but definitely, as we do know. Likewise, late 2022. No, let's take this one. So it seems that also because I'm not in yesterday, the petrol might be going up from 450 Naira, as we know today, to 750 Naira per liter, and that could be a lot of a problem as well in Nigeria, as we do know. 300 billion Naira budget for this joke of an election. INEC, you might as well give them back the money to fix some hospitals and schools, and just finger to point at the people you want to select. So we do know that about almost 400 billion Naira was spent for this election. I'm not sure whether that is money worth, but people will say it is what it is. This is Starr Radio UK. I'm just going to come back to you now in the studio. Nigerians are still harboring the Naira note, and queues are not going away. The fight with the PDP over IU just stated, forget $2 a day. Many Nigerians live on 300 Naira a day.
Well, listeners, quite troubling and sad stories just coming away from Nigeria this morning, and most of the African countries as well. But Juliet is asking the question that she's asking whether we think that rerun of the presidential election will bring about any difference, or will it make any difference there? Will it even be accepted?
Actually, in my view, I think it's not just about rerun. It is about doing what is right. If we're going to do a rerun of the elections, then things must be done properly. We cannot and we should not encourage people profiting from crime. What happened in Nigeria is technically a crime scene.
Yeah.
Now, if we allow people to profit, saying like Ghanaians say, oh, it's not, oh, it's just 4 years, it's just 5 years. What we are doing, we're sending a strong signal to the young ones that it must not, it shouldn't be right for you to profit.
Yeah.
What we're telling the young ones is that, look, if you want to win or if you want to progress in life, you must be crooked.
Yeah.
If you want to progress in life, then you forget about the rules and the laid down procedures.
Yeah.
Do something that achieve the goal at all costs, whether good or bad. So for me, it is just about the signal that we are sending to the next generation. And actually, if you look at our politics, that is what has been the case. Look, the youth will complain, they get involved in some of these things, and therefore say, oh, this is how we did it with Baba.
Yeah.
Let's do it the same thing. This is how we where are we going to?
They end justifying
So
the means.
at the end of the day, in my view, it is what kind of society do you want? It's not about Tinubu. I do not care who wins election. I do not care who ran Lagos State. I do not care. But the fact is that certain principles must be universal. We want to practice democracy. Yes, I cannot say there's 100% what they call it, genuine democracy in the world. But what we saw on videos, what we witnessed in Nigeria, if that is a process of electing a president, then let's declare. Let don't waste time campaigning. Let don't waste time at PDP. Let's say, okay, you know what? We're going to kill ourselves. We're going to put a ballot box there. If you can beat your friends, if at the end of the day we count whoever has, the greatest number of votes, or as an INEC official, whatever count to my through by whichever means, I sit and declare. Why do we waste billions of naira campaigning? Why people had accidents, people died in cause of this?
Yeah.
What should they count for? Nothing. It's just a matter of principle. In my view, if the election have to be cancelled, or if where specific areas where we have identified problems, like Lagos State, for instance, you cannot be telling people you don't come from this country, you do not come from there, you can't vote. We can't see a whole professor stealing. What is education? What's the value of education? And you master the courage to go and stand in front of students again, telling them you are teaching. What have you been teaching them all this while? Teaching them how to steal? Or what have you been doing? Are you getting me, Archie?
Yeah.
So whether the Nigerians are going to agree to cancel the election or not, what we should be looking at, what we want to give to our young ones, how we want Nigeria to be looked at. And I look at, I listen to someone who narrated the experience of Jimmy Carter, who vowed never to visit Nigeria again to observe any election because of what he saw. It was in 1999, the kind of election that took place. Jimmy Carter vowed never to step foot in Nigeria again to witness it, to observe any election.
Wow.
And the commentator who was also in Nigeria said, look, if what Jimmy Carter saw and narrated is anything bad, this is evil.
Wow.
Are you getting me?
Wow. Well, Juliet says, would we ever see any fair election across Africa? Why do some of our communities accept to be given rice and beans? Do we expect magic for those leaders to come back to serve? Imagine, what do your youth want? But the question, the issue is, if you impoverish the people, then you are able to control them. They are desperately in need of just.
Right from what that comment is just so reflecting to the comment here from Olatunji. Also, the young ones should stop doing the dirty jobs of the politicians.
Which is true. Which is true. Because they will impoverish you. They put you in that corner that you become so desperate. You say you're right.
With all this and that happening in the Nigerian election, actually, I am praying for a day where we have people who have bribed their way, and the people will take their bribe and say no to those bribes and vote someone who has not given so much bribe away. I cry for that day that it will say, okay, this community, this person is able to deliver. I had an experience. I told you before, Legon, when we had Polado Motri contesting to be the SRC president, coming, doing everything. Accra, who was the poorest person, couldn't even print a poster. We stood up as a student population, took the campaign. Accra never knew us. We went door to door campaigning, championing. At the end of the day, the person with the money lost miserably. Lost miserably. That's the kind of thing we need to start doing in our communities if we really, really, really want change. But you see, most of us are because, like it's rightly said, we have been impoverished. This money on the table. If you look at this NDC MPs who voted, they look at the election coming on. They want to go and splash. They need money. So money has become, and that's why Jerry Rawlings wants now, may his soul rest in peace, that anytime we make money the determinant, the main influencer of our decisions, will risk everything that we have ever stood for. And that's exactly what we're witnessing.
Hola, Loremi Kilanko, good morning to you. It's a morning to Frank, Archie, Layomi, and the fans there. We salute each and every one of you. And Julia says, Koiki, think of how some of our youth lose life. How can policy be introduced across Africa to ensure that no one can be receiving this kind of handout? Well, they know that if they will introduce any policy of that sort, it's going to affect them. So they won't. When in their opposition, they'll be talking against it. They come into power. They say no, that is a way to hold our place, and therefore actually, that's what we do.
Juliet, we have the laws. We have, because bribery is a crime.
Yeah.
Influencing people during elections with gifts, handouts is a crime.
Yeah.
What the INEC, the electoral commissions in these various countries, what are they doing?
They spend 400 billion, for that.
There are laws that regulate even political funding in our part of the world.
Yeah.
What are we doing those laws?
Nothing. Okay, Yummy, before you go.
Well, stay tuned with Frank and Archie for the rest of the program. We'll be back again same time tomorrow for more update from Nigeria. Have a very good morning, good afternoon. We are now running the same time with Nigeria since our time zone change on Sunday. So we are no longer 1 hour ahead. So it is now exactly 12 minutes before noon, and I leave you in the good hands of Frank and Archie. Bye for now.
Bye. Well, listeners, it is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We're going to take a quick break, but once we come back, I want us to have a look at something outside the box, and then we can go to Kenya and the other part of Africa countries to have a look at what is happening there. Because in Kenya, demonstration is going on. Odinga says, hey, I think that election, but they were both vice presidents, I think they were all throwing the money around. This time it didn't work for him. So we'll be looking at that as well. But we're going to be looking at fire outbreaks in our marketplaces, and I'm thinking, should there be a redesigning of our communities? Should some houses go down? And our town development bodies, are they doing what they're supposed to do? Because Yomi was talking about a fire outbreak in Lagos, but he was saying that the fire attendants could not even get to the place to actually quench the fire or douse the fire, whichever term that is right. But we'll be telling you more about that. Stay tuned, don't you go away. Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer, and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Nedase.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Well, Welcome back to the program. It is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to exactly 9 minutes to the top of the hour. It is a Tuesday edition of the morning show. At the time, as I did say, 9 minutes to the top of the hour. So if you're in Nigeria, it's the same time as we are here. But remember, tomorrow evening at 18 hours. So at the same time there, Mr. Lai Miko will be bringing you updates from Nigeria. It is a 2.5 hours program where we are able to dive in deeper into all the stories, whatever things that you want to know about Nigeria and the comments that you want to make as well. You are able to do that. So make sure if you missed out on anything, just join him exactly. All over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. My apologies. That every Wednesday when he comes your way with the Niger voices. Okay. Now let's move on straight. Frank, I'm looking at fire that is gutting lots of our communities. Yes. We have Kumasi, where a market there was that market fire that gutted. I don't know how they managed to work on it. Whether the fire tenders were able to move into the place to douse the fire. And then you have a situation in Lagos that Olayemi Koiki was talking about. So we put the images. I was looking at it. Yeah. That the fire tenders cannot get access to the place because of the way we put our buildings. Okay. Now in this part of the world, you look at even those of us. I mean, you go to. I was telling you yesterday about one of my neighbors who decided to go to the back and then to clear all those places. Yeah. So even if worst case scenario, the fire tenders can drive through those places. Yeah. They have all those things in place. Yeah. But we don't have those. What is the plan? What do you think we can do?
Actually, it's a very, very difficult task, and this I do not want to blame the authorities alone. I think we as a people are all part and parcel of the problem. If you take the Kumasi incident, for instance, it happened in a new market. KJTR was built not more than 10 years ago. It was one of the biggest West African markets that was built, well planned, garages where people can park and other things. The question is, what have we been using it for? We've allowed people to set up stores where they should not. And this fire incident was caused by someone, according to reports, cooking with a gas within. Are those stores meant to be used as cooking basins? Again, we have fire. We have water sprinklers. So again, it goes against what we are planning. Let's call it that. Do we have people who know that, look, this is a fire, this is a marketplace where you cannot control the behavior of everyone, and therefore can we have at least water sprinklers everywhere? I'm not saying even in the UK, in Europe, we get it right. We saw what happened in Turkey when the earthquake struck. We saw that buildings that were supposed to be built are with certain amount of iron, with certain amount of engineering to withstand certain magnitude of earthquakes. People did not do. In fact, some buildings were being shown, if the images and the videos we saw is anything to go by, with tires being put under the basement of some of lorry tires being put under the basement of some of these buildings. So actually, it has to do with our individual leaders, one, ourselves within a community, and the whole system that we find ourselves in. If you put up a building today, tomorrow you see people putting stores, blocking access. When you want to talk about it, they tell you, well, you do not are you the one feeding us? Is that your land? Is that your property? Take even electricity. We go to market, you see someone who has electric meter, and then you see the others having to connect flexible wires from one extension cord to another, one extension cord to another, without knowing that these cables can carry certain amount of power, only certain amount of power and once it goes beyond that, it will just break. But again, who is checking it? Who is preaching it to them? Our electricity company of Ghana, they are all interested in collecting money. Who is preaching some of this into them? Again, have we made provision knowing that people are having stores over there, how they can easily get power? If you walk on the street of London, actually, there are some electric poles that you see They have areas where you can actually plug and get power, especially at public parks where they know that people can congregate and do it. In fact, they make provision for anything that is. So the question: do we plan? Do we take planning seriously? Have we seen planning working daily in our lives? We think planning is a reserve for the Minister of Planning and Development, but in our own communities, we do not care about planning. We site church buildings wherever. I mean, we think there's a space. We actually site restaurant wherever we think we can make money from. We put anything anywhere just for our own convenience. If you look at what is happening in Nigeria now, I wouldn't say, and I don't know where it's happening, but I do not think that we're going to see any difference from whatever. Ghana one, we had a little bit of lag because of the way, but the what they call it, the fire was just too much that it burnt a lot of stuff before even the fire service. And again, we've had similar situation where fire services have gotten there, but there's even no water.
That's what Juliet is asking. So do we even have enough water in the town centers when they get there?
Are you getting me? Do we? We do not. We do not. As you speak now, Ghana, I mean, we talk of doomsor, probably they tell you, actually, there's no week that goes by without our house a light going off. But if no, forget it. Those are political comments. I'm telling you a life experience that there's no single week that goes by without me experiencing power cut. Wow. Are you getting me? Without me experiencing power cut. What helps me, because my phones are always charged, when there's power cut, I turn on the hotspot and I'm able to use my my laptop. Are you getting me? But over here, the day there was a light out, we celebrated. Meanwhile, we were told not too long ago that we had excess electricity. Are you getting me? So actually, for me, it's about planning, and I do believe our education. Personally, I do believe our education system has a lot to do with whatever is going on. We need to introduce a bit of civic and public responsibility, in my view. We also need to be teaching a bit of life skills, what it means to do the right thing, the consequences of doing the wrong thing. We need to. I understand, yes, we are focusing on science and math, but there's no, I mean, you cannot tell me that we should spend so much money educating a lawyer who comes to parliament and know how to forge documents or use the law to steal from the public. It makes no sense. If all your education will spend money on you, you are now a lawyer, you are not a judge, and all you can think of is how to use the knowledge you have to basically go through the constitution, find the loopholes, and steal from the public, then your education is useless. Are you getting me? If a doctor has been trained and all you know is how to go to sign an agreement with a private hospital, and when people come to the hospital, you know you can diagnose them, you know the public, but because you are being paid from the private hospital, you are directing them to go there, and then you go and see them later. Then your education is useless. So in my view, I think we need to go back and understand, what do we need? I know we need science and maths, that is fine. I know we need English, we need French, we need other things that will help us open it. We need Chinese, we need Russia. In my view, we still have to look at how do we educate ourselves from knowing what is good, what is bad. As we speak now, a lot of our schools do not have civic responsibility. They do not know what it means not to put rubbish on the street. They do not know the consequences that when I put a polythene bag full of rubbish into this gutter, I'm actually harming Juliet, who lives downstream, because there will be flooding. We do not see the implications of our actions. So I think from the young age, our mindset needs to change. We can't get the 100%. This country, we do not get 100. We do not get it 100%. No. But at least, actually, what we do know, when my daughter returns from school, there are certain do's and don'ts that they are taught. Are you get me? So I think it's a whole life. It's a whole education, and we should not restrict education only to the classroom. I think we take, if you take Ghana
look at this place. Look at this place. They don't restrict them to. You see them. It's cold, and they are still working them out.
That's
going
it.
to see something. Going to teach them.
Yesterday or something. One of our staff was where I live, the rain. I said, rain. Rain is a weather phenomenon. It's just part of the sun. That's why there's umbrella. Okay, that's why there's umbrella. So if it's not going to be life-threatening rains, well, what they call the Met is warning us to stay
at home.
I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, get a raincoat, please, and probably dress differently. Wear something that will not get soap.
Yeah,
get to the office and dust yourself out and work.
No, don't see that. No, it's raining. But it's raining. I can't come to work.
No, it should not be the culture. You know. So we then ask again, what signals are we sending from the leadership counts? I mean, you recall when David came. I mean, there was a time we were talking about Medina. Now that they've done the food bridge,
they
used us to be a food
bridge. Until someone was killed.
Someone was killed. David was complaining about it. What actually went into the engineering, the planning? What actually went there? Again, where I come to the leadership, when we're giving contract to someone, what do we look for? Do we just give because the person is affiliated to us? Do we take interest in how that thing will be done to a point that it will serve the interest of the community, or we just want something done to show that something? Actually, not too long ago, Ghana celebrated independence.
Yeah, is it 66?
66 independence. I can tell you on authority that all the contracts that were awarded, in fact, I went to on that stretch of road, potholes were covered because ambassadors were going to drive on them.
Oh, okay. They quickly get to.
There's a place that was like Manho Asikuma. That place has been there from Kojoyoyo, in front of the security. When you get there, actually, you wouldn't custom filled done because foreigners are coming.
I see. So every year they have to take it to another region.
But you know what happened? The contracts that were awarded from the Jubilee House. About 30% of the money that was supposed to be used for the work was taken out.
Yeah, so whatever they give them is not enough.
Last minute, they have to mobilize the Voter Development Association to voluntarily do some works because they don't want the shame. Assuming the association has not stepped in, a lot of shame would have befallen Ghana. Just because someone somewhere signed a contract, say, I only give you this contract if you're giving me 30% kickback. But that's what they do.
My goodness.
And you think all the money Tinubu has spent, he's not going to get kickback for each person that he gets contract from?
He's going to, if not, he has to. That's what they do. Wow, listen, let's start Radio UK. Let me read some comments that Juliet has posted, and then we can move on. Said, do our leaders, after 50 years of independence in different countries, to meet the basic needs of electricity and water for all, should all the leaders who fail this be sent to international courts of justice, or we form our one that can send them to answer? Okay, it goes on. He said, here in the UK and in Europe, they're looking for improvement, etc., renewable energy, etc. What do we have? Still not enough electricity for each citizen. So these people are past there. They are looking at renewable. We've not been able to sort electricity out. Talk less going to renewable. And it says, Frank, some of our leaders have sat in those posts for years. They need to be questioned by international courts of justice. We need some of them to answer why citizens do not have their basic needs. Are you saying that no houses were built proper? No. He's asking what he said. Contracts were awarded. We're talking about roads here. Road contracts. They were not controlled. They were not done well because they've taken lots of their chunk of the money.
And that's why you see, once, I mean, in this country, yesterday I was driving somewhere, even potholes are being filled.
Yeah,
we have manholes. We're talking about manholes. I mean, actually, where I live, I actually, to get to my house, I mean, you're gonna go through a lot of, I mean,
you need strata then.
You go through a good road, you get to a point, the last stretch of they say a bit of manhole. And again, I'm going to appeal. Look, we as citizens need to take certain actions and start owning our communities. That is what I think. If we're going to leave everything to our leaders, it's not going to work. We might have to start determining the future of our communities ourselves. Can we make it a case that, look, if you are an MP, you are an assemblyman in the area, when the churches next door is making noise unnecessary to disturb you, we all write a petition or call on the assemblyman.
You are the devil. Are you turning to
let me be the devil and let me be the devil and give my children a sound sleep, because we know from evidence that lack of sleep at those age harms the children. It harms their brain development. Let me sacrifice and be called a devil. So we need to start coming together as a community and say, look, these are the do's and don'ts. If there's one or two people, and we are cowards and hypocrites, that is who we are. A lot of us are cowards and hypocrites. We speak inside. We do not want to be seen as those who, because for fear of being labeled devils or the fear of it. But I think we need to break that. We need to break that. If we do not break that, then we're going to be inside and be complaining and allow the wrong to basically, engulf and consume all of us.
Well, listeners, it is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, 7 minutes past the top of the hour. Let me announce the lines open and then we continue from there. If you want to join in the conversation, call us on 0208-133-2257 or 58 0208-133-2257 or 58. If you happen to be in the US, Canada or the Caribbean area, it is 001-718-303-2737 001-718-303-2737. Text or WhatsApp us is 0753-966-1744 0753-966-1744. Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK and email address is info@starradiouk.com. Now, as I did announce earlier on, this afternoon exactly at 1:30, BB Clement will be coming your way with BB Beans Business, and again it's a continuation celebrating successful female entrepreneurs. So she's going to be having some top hooks. One is a GP, one top hooks. So make sure that your dials are logged on Starr Radio UK so that you can also enjoy that program. And then this evening exactly at 5 o'clock as well, we'll be bringing you the NHS time, the NHS hour time, let me put it that way, and we are looking at the various screenings that take place and we want you to be part of it. So make sure that you listen to that program as well. Now, before I take you to Africa, Juliet says, do you know some roads are rough and the potholes itself creates mental health issues? Imagine when one comes from Europe and the cars shake your body actually.
It's not even, I do not want to sound condescending. I do not want us to, and that's sometimes, Juliet, to be honest with you, some of the barriers we do face. Sometimes when we try to compare the Europe and our part of the area, people think that because we are privileged, so to call it, to have traveled. Those are facts. But you see, we need to move from that again, in my view, Julia, to be able to let people understand that within, whether you've traveled Europe or not, that the problem that route is causing, like you said rightly, the mental problem that is causing to someone within that area, it doesn't need to come from Europe. Assuming a baby is sick, being rushed to hospital, assuming, some women, during their time, they cannot stand it. People can have miscarriages out of those, bumping routes. Are you getting me? They even economic cost that is even bringing to us or having to be repairing the roads, when in fact we do not manufacture spare parts for those cars. So we need to get people to start to understand that whether you've been to Europe or you've not been to Europe, within our country itself, some of those things, I am a strong advocate for where we can come together, construct a road, and then we reduce the amount of tax we pay. So if you are an assembly, you come in to collect house tolls, or basically what they call tax from us, we pay you 50%. We take the rest and invest in our roads. Because if we have not built that, you're not coming for that money. Are you getting me? And if we're going to be spending our money, but you see, we need to start demanding some of these things. And again, a lot of them will tell you, no, don't do it. Why? Because the community and the people coming together award a contract to someone where they're not going to take bribe from.
Yeah. So they're not going to benefit from it.
They're not going to benefit from it, and therefore they say no. We will award it. We have a case, for instance, a huge case, an agricultural case, and one day I'm going to mention the name. When someone resigning took money, huge amount of money from someone they want to award contract to, did not sign the document. The new person who's in the office now say, okay, I also want my share. And the person says, I've paid over 20% of that money to the person that went out.
So
you still want me
to...
It's okay, then I'm not signing.
Oh gosh. So by the time he pays another 20%, virtually what kind of work would the person do?
That is why when it rains, the roads that have been done, filmed, videoed, and catalogued for political campaigning will be washed away within 3 months.
Wow. Julia says, Archie and Frank, have you been on a rough road across Africa and you get to where you are going and you are so tired? Like you slept well, you did. By the time you get to your destination, you feel you've been...
Juliet, I have. In fact, I recently experienced one, so I have. Don't call them potholes. We have more. I mean, Juliet, I've been in a situation where you go there and the passengers in the car will have to then assist the car to move.
Oh,
because at the end, you all have to get down to make the light and the car light and help push. Not that get down, you have to help push the car to move. So, Juliet, we have.
Okay. I think it's of the view that's why he thinks that there should be a system in Africa, some judicial thing where people who fail, leaders who fail, are brought to justice, so that citizens can get a bit of justice from that, because we seem to be taken for a ride, and that's what seems to be going on.
But actually, the most unfortunate and the most painful thing is that if you take across Africa, I must commend what is happening in Malawi currently. I do think their leader is one of the best that we've gotten. What happened with Magufuli was also something that I applauded a lot. Most of these leaders have been educated outside.
Yeah.
Most of our leaders have been educated outside. So if for nothing at all, I ask myself, is it a continent that changes our thinking when we get there? Or what at all? Is there a virus? That, I mean, if you take Ghana, look at all the ministers. Name a minister who was not educated outside.
They all.
From Katie Hammond, who was a solicitor over here. Are you getting me? And you watch Katie Hammond as a chairman of a committee trying to scrutinize the finance minister for the wrongs that are being done, and you see him shepherding, trying to protect him like a chicken, trying to protect the chicks from the hawk. And you ask yourself, you the same person who was in this country, who knows that you cannot
do certain
things within this country. Once you get to Ghana, you are in a position where you're supposed to instill some of what you've learned, and then you are the one helping perpetuate the wrong within the system. So I ask myself, those of us who move from here back home, what goes through our mind? What do we do? But you see, actually, the system sometimes forces you to do the wrong thing.
You become the minority in there, and so it's working against you.
On Accra Temamoto Way, we have the Highways Authority. There's so much traffic on that road sometimes that, I mean, you wonder if it is good to even take the motorway.
Is it?
Actually, we see people as a director of the traffic have actually cut through. Do you know what they'll do? The police will not go and stand there and prevent you from turning. The police, if you turn, you're moving towards, let's say, Accra towards Tema. The police should be stopping you from even turning and using those as a road, because they are thinking of safety of those from the other side. No, the police should not stand there. The police should go and stand the other side and move a little bit away, so that the moment you turn, they come bribe collection.
Oh, so not preventative.
No. Commit the crime and let me collect my share. I mean, it is so it's gone to a point where the big men, even from Trazaco and others, saying, "Who then on that road? We did it once. We did it once." And I asked myself, hello, in this country, they will stop the action from happening.
Yeah.
Preventing, knowing that we could cause an accident or that. But no. The police will hide. Commit the crime, here I am. Either you come to our police station or you pay me 200 Ghana. So we actually set traps for ourselves to be able to, let them commit crime and how profit. You know.
Oh my goodness, exactly, Frank. And remember, women are more delicate. Men muscles at least can be. He's talking about when you sit in those vehicles with a bump.
That discrimination.
You see, we all got bones, so we all got flesh, we all get tired.
Juliet, I agree with you. Men for women.
All right, let's start ready. Okay. The Tuesday edition of the morning show, 17 minutes past the top of the hour, at 17 minutes past 12. And let's move on to some other stories making the rounds. Now, demonstrations have been going on in Kenya, this around from the opposition. Now, Kenyan police have fired tear gas and water cannon at protesters and opposition leader Raila Odinga's convoy on Monday as he pressed ahead with an anti-government rally despite a ban. Now, the protesters defied a warning by the Inspector General of Police, Japhet Koome, that the demonstration in Nairobi and the western city of Kisumu on Odinga stronghold were illegal. Yet, they went ahead with it. Now, previous days, they had Odinga had been sending information to his supporters to embark on that. Now, the opposition stalwarts has called for protests every Monday and Thursday against the government of President William Ruto, who he claims stole last year's election and is failing to address the high cost of living. Now, 6 months since Ruto came in. So, if you're talking about economic stability, you can't say that just that 6 months that he came is ruined everything.
Yeah.
That means that the foundation that was laid wasn't strong enough, and that is why seeing whatever we are seeing at the moment has brought about that. But he was also a deputy, a vice president in what his name's Kenyatta's government, and now he's calling for.
Actually, I know Julia will have a lot to say on this because she comes from Kenya. Actually, my view is this: sometimes the system does not want change. Raila Odinga has not come to terms and accepted the fact that someone who did not have a shoe, someone who didn't know where to fend, someone from a remote rural somewhere in Kenya, someone who ancestors, grandfather, grandmother had nothing to do with politics, someone who was a nobody, who rise through the ranks and become the president of Kenya today. He was written off. He was written off. No one wanted him. Even the person he helped, he became the deputy for Kenyatta himself. They didn't want him to rule, to a point that Kenyatta has to go and support an opponent against his own vice. Because who? Ruto, or what do you call him?
Ruto, yeah.
Is not has no political, tradition behind him. But you see, actually, the same way that we're talking about what should have happened in Nigeria, where some of us preach and hope that people who were nobody, but who can do the good, we see them that they are different, can do the good, should be able to be pushed to lead us. I supported this man when he won. You see, all what they call Raila Odinga is doing is to plot his comeback, trying to say, okay, if we can disorganize or if we can make the government unpopular, we must succeed in probably getting a military regime, or probably
okay,
yeah, and then we can go for an early election and all this, or probably, but I don't think it's going to work. I think, you see, the miscalculation Raila is doing. Actually, if you take any elections, look at the voting trend and the voting pattern. The moment you see a chunk of the youth following a candidate, if I were you, I'll back off. And then if you look at the elections that happened, if you look at the current president, those who voted for him, the majority of them were the youth. The majority of them who are the youth did not know who Kenyatta's father and Raila Odinga's father and they were not interested. Are interested in what is happening today? What can we do when we see someone speaking what we want to hear? If you want to attack such a person, it's just a matter of time. You're going to see a counter demonstration coming. It's not going to work. And that's the challenge Tinubu is going to face in Nigeria.
Because Peter Obi had the momentum from.
That's what you're going to face
after him.
That is what you're going to face.
Okay.
I think it's unfortunate Raila Odinga is doing this. It shouldn't be. What he should be doing, I think he has to behave himself. He must now be looking at himself as a state person who should help. But no, he just, because daddy was part of power, I also have to be president before I die. Akufo-Addo mentality.
Well, interestingly, Juliet is saying that she took part in the presidential elections in Kenya.
Okay.
He said, I have a big story for you one of these days. We will have to know that. He said, by the way, I managed to get to the last 18 candidates before the last 4 that were put on the. So they screened them, them, and then got to the last 18. Wow. What was your experience there? How did you not get to the final 4? What happened? Do you think that they were using money, or is it popularity? I'm not very sure.
Juliet, who has been part of the Lib Dems in this country, part of Lib Dems, an official of the Lib Dems, a councillor of the Lib Dems, if I'm not mistaken. She knows over here, for instance, that you did not attend bribing anyone during the political discourse. So if you
go there with that mentality,
say I'm here to help genuinely, which she wants to do, you get to a point where now we want to see, look, madam, let's see your checkbook. Let's see your checkbook.
She said, I was the only woman candidate in the 18, and again a big story. In Kenya we call them the IEBC, equivalent to the INEC or the EC.
Okay.
Well, Juliet, we hope. I mean, it's a good starter.
Come and tell us
more about that. Once we will have you on the show, and then we can talk.
Our brother has filed to contest on NDC ticket, Ken. We're going to be speaking to him one of these days. Again, a diaspora I'm going to stand in and want to contest as well. So we wish them all the best. But let's hear your story so that those of us who are observing from the fringe will know what to do.
All right, listeners, Star Radio UK. Let's go to Ghana now and look at one of the other stories there as well, and then we can come to this part of the world. We want to look at the new SNP leader, and then we will tell you more about that, but stay tuned. Now, the issue with Dr. Mark Palm, I don't know, because I knew one Dr. Mark at Alajo, so I don't know whether he's the same man.
That's him.
Because I knew that he had a clinic there. Or
that is him.
He's dead. I mean, he was supposed to have come back to the courts yesterday, but he happened to pass, and therefore now the courts are saying that they should bring death certificates or something to verify that. I mean, that treason case that has gone on so far. We have the other police officer, I've forgotten his name, who is still is one of the top police officers, but he is also saying incarceration. I don't know whether he's been bailed. But looking at that whole thing, what is it? Why cannot even they just adjudicate and then let things just go on or whatever? What is
actually one, if I were the family, I'll probably drive the dead body to the courtroom. That's what I would have done.
If you want to know that,
to prove that. You see, sometimes it can be insensitive. We have to be let's be a bit careful what we demand from, whether the person has died or not. You have a whole time to be able to. But if you are demanding now that they should bring the death certificate, when my dad passed away, we didn't get the death certificate.
It was later.
It was later before we got the death certificate. So if he's demanded it, that is fine. I think if it doesn't work, you can go and jail what they call it, the dead body. Again, Archie, he's also doing his work, because at the end of the day, we know people can abscond and then declare themselves dead. We've had people faking their death.
Yes, of course.
Even in this country, to claim insurance. So at the end of the day, but can't they fake the certificate?
They can.
Yeah, well, probably he just want to have it on his book, and then be able to, whether you are getting it as a fake document.
So far as he has the record that somebody died, that's okay.
Once I have the record that the man is dead, but you see, that case has been a case that a lot of people have been worried about. If you look at exactly what went on, I mean, that coup was being plotted. Again, I am not an expert in that field, but we can always speak to whatever we've seen, whatever we've witnessed, and whatever we've heard. Now, in that case, we're told that things that were found were knives and other things. I wonder how in this technological age, or this sophisticated security that Kufuor has, you want to go overthrow government with knives and all those things. I mean, even Boko Haram has gone beyond that. They claim, I mean, they were part of what they call a group of. I think the government, well, you never can tell, overreacting, I mean, to a large extent. Are you get me? And I'm also worried that the case is delaying in court. The delay is just something that, for me, I find unacceptable. Because at the end of the day, if these people indeed attempt overthrowing the government,
you should have enough evidence
you have enough evidence that by now, either they've been sentenced or something, so that we know these were people who wanted to disturb our peaceful existence. Are you getting me? But you cannot be delaying a case deliberately or whatever. Look at Foucault's case, Paula. Case. You cannot be delaying a case, I mean, and then families are suffering as a direct result of that. If you finish the trial and convicted them, we know that you have finished the trial, you've convicted them, we know they are guilty. But this kind of delays, actually, I really, well, I mean, may he so rest in peace, and we wish the family strength. I mean, we pray that the Lord, because he was a big man, I mean, he was someone who had a lot of influence on the family.
Yeah.
He was someone who had a lot of mouths that he was feeding. As we know, like is in most African communities now, all those people are, I mean, they've lost it all. They've lost it all. We just have to wish them strength.
May he so rest in perfect peace. Listen to Star Radio UK, 11:29. Let's take a musical break and we will come back. We'll be here in the UK and we'll be looking at what has happened in Scotland. Well, is a new Scottish leader, going to be one that can turn the tide for those who are advocating for a breakaway or what? We're going to tell you more about that. So don't you go away. The Zongo man has it lined up nicely for you, and he's going to sum it up nicely since the problem of Africa. Enjoy it and I'll be with you.
The problem of Africa is the elite. Who run things, who run things, who run things. The problem of Africa is the elite. Who run things, who run things, who run things. Them all go to university. Universities award them degrees. Big degrees. Degrees. Big degrees. MSc in stealing. Bachelor of Arts, mismanagement. Masters in looting. MSc in corruption. Bachelor of Science in nepotism. MSc in forgery. Bachelor of Arts in indiscipline, MSc in embezzlement. The problem of Africa is daily. Who run things, who run things, who run things. The problem of Africa is daily. Who run things, who run things, who run things.
This is Starr Radio UK.
To London, London School of Fools, where they were awarded degree, in foolishness, PhD in stupidity, MSc in foolishness, PhD dishonesty, PhD in recklessness, Bachelor of Arts in selfishness, MSc in greed, BSc maladministration, PhD in quasi-SM.
This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio
Cool him
UK.
down. MSc Helio Donkey. The problem of Africa is daily. Who run things, who run things.
Well, the problem of Africa is the lead who run things. How are they running things? Well, Julius thinks that, well, we might have to get them to some special human rights court, you know. They are not running things the way they're supposed to, and then we can deal with them there. But Julius says, Frank and Archie, my experience in Kenya for presidential election, I believe that was me who would have won it. My goodness, wow. That is why some returning officers sadly do not give certificates to all candidates at the same time. To fight corruption, the returning officers are sadly part of the biggest impunity in our African nation. And she likes the song that we played as well. I mean, that song sums it up. All the African leaders, what they've been doing. But we thank God for people who can be selfless and go in not for their own selfish interest, but to serve the whole community. So Juliet, more grease to your elbow. We hope that the next one you continue. Who knows? One day. All right then. Starr Radio UK. Now let's move on to, as I did announce, the lines are open. If you want to join the conversation, feel free to do so. 0208-133-2257 or 58 0208-133-2257 or 58. Or if you happen to be in the US, Canada, or the Caribbean area, it is 001-718-303-2737. 001-718-303-2737. Just share with us what you think about that, and then text or WhatsApp at 0753966617 for 0753966617 for our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK, and email address is info@starradiouk.com. All right then. Okay, now here in the UK, now terrorism threat level in Northern Ireland raised from substantial to severe after recent rise in dissident Republican activities. Now we were talking about the Northern Ireland Protocol. Now we had Boris negotiating something that the Northern Ireland itself was saying that we were not benefiting from it, but the DUP thought it was a good thing because at the time they were the leaders. And then after that election, when they lost out, they decided that we don't want to, and because it's giving their system is that it gives one party the power to say I'm backing out, and then nothing will work. Yesterday I saw an interview of the former Prime Minister Tony Blair, and he was saying that no, they all have to try to come back on, and thinking there should be reforms. And he said if there is any reform where one party is going to be left out, it wouldn't be good. So he was calling for them all to get on it. But look at it. I mean, about a couple of months ago, one police officer was shot. There, I mean, in the face of, I mean, we had children around, and he was shot there. So looking at that particular story there, what do you think is the way forward? Because again, we have some backbenchers here who were also who voted against that, but we know that with the help of Labour and most of the Conservative members, it went through. But what do you think is at stake for?
Actually, what we do know now is that a group has even come out that they reject even the new negotiations. They don't want to support
so
it.
The DUP, we know that they don't want it already.
So at the end of the day, again, we have a divided front. What I think is this is again where religion comes in, because whatever is happening in Northern Ireland has religious connotations. These Republicans and what do you call it, the Protestant movement, the Reformation movement, up to today, we still have that entrenched positions in that country. One of the things we might have to encourage them to do, and this is where I believe they have to learn from Rwanda, is how did Rwanda manage to come united from the Tutsis, the Hutus problems? Because that's a classic template that they can learn from. It got to a point where they have to say, no, you know what, let's suppress this, let's suppress it, let's suppress it. Do we have to come to a point where we now say, let's suppress our religious and other things, even if we have to agree and ban certain things in our country, say we're putting a stop to this from today going, so that the next generation we do not have the same thing that we're having today. Actually, the way forward, in my view, is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. If this agreement that they've negotiated, where the EU has actually basically compromised on a lot of stuff, is something that they're not going to accept, that's going to be difficult. But the DUP, when you were in power, you were comfortable with what was happening. So the question, are you just doing it because of politics? And again, we know, and I'll blame Theresa May, because when Theresa May was interested in having them on board, he bribed them. She bribed them. That was virtually bribed.
10 billion.
Giving them 1 billion.
1 billion.
100,000 pounds each, because there were only 10 people or something like that. She bribed them. The Conservatives have been genuine to the other side.
No,
because
she didn't bribe them that they should put it in their pocket. No, she bribed them for their project. At
the end of the day, we know they are natural allies of the Conservatives, and we know they vote and sit with them. The question we ask, are they deriving any benefit? Are they plotting? Because the law says that when it gets to a point and the two cannot come together, then we're going to have a direct rule from Westminster. The Conservatives that are in power, are they now going to impose themselves and have a direct rule in that country? Because they should be able to call the DUP to order. Yes, the Sinn Féin won election, doesn't mean you should run out of it. When you won, they did not participate. They sat out of Westminster, but they participated in the local government over there. At the end of the day, you ruled. Now that it is time for
them to
Caesar,
he said no, we don't want
Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Are you getting me? I think it's very unfair, and I do not think the Sinn Féin will ever agree to support, anytime they are not in a majority, who support any government being put in place in that place. Because when it was your turn, you refused, you ran away. Are you getting me? It's just like someone who, we know when you win a match, they have to give awards to both the loser and the winner at the final match. Because you lost, you ran away, and therefore held everyone hostage. That's exactly what the DUP are doing. I think the Conservatives should be able to speak to them. They are their natural allies. If they cannot convince them, if they cannot even speak to them, then what's that relationship for?
Do you think that maybe giving the Northern Ireland a chance to, because the Republic of Ireland are their brothers or their family. Now give them a chance to say, let's also have a referendum, and then they decide whether they want to belong.
That is what the Sinn Féin has been calling for. And actually, part of this has been played. Let's look at it from the other way around. Now that the Sinn Féin has, who are actually looking for independence to join or unification with their brothers, if they get to Parliament, don't you think they're going to put bills in place?
Agenda.
Well, they're going to have laws that are passed to be able to see them closer to their natural brothers.
Yeah, definitely.
So, don't you think that is what DUP and the Conservatives are saying? And therefore saying, let's stall this, let's not get involved. Actually, I mean, it's not everything that we are being told. Everything that is playing out publicly, because at the end of the day, we have Sinn Féin that has made it public. They made it public that, look, we want to break out, we want to join, we want unification, we want to join our natural allies. Now that they are in a pole position to be able to make and take certain decisions that will see them getting close and closer. Don't you think the DUP will be and the Conservatives will be interested in putting spokes in their wheels? I mean, it's possible. This is politics. Because I do not see how the Conservatives have not succeeded in actually getting DUP
to back down. Yeah.
I do not see it.
Because with this statement that terrorism, I mean, they've raised it from whatever it was to severe now. It's serious.
Well, at the end of the day, they were the first modern terrorists before even Boko Haram. Anyway, I mean, at the end, that's where we had.
And the bombings wasn't taking place only there; they were coming on the mainland.
My friend has invited me. Forget it. I'm not going away.
My wife was telling me, "Oh, let's go to Northern Ireland." And that for some holiday, that is what she was telling me. He said, I've seen that. I don't think we have to go. No, we are saying it like this, but somebody will think that maybe they want to go transact some business there and stuff like that. We don't want to go to a place where they think that they are not secure. I mean, their lives is under threat. They wouldn't want to do that.
Actually, it's a difficult situation, but I just hope that a solution can. But I don't see where it's coming from. I cannot see where it's coming from. I cannot see where it's coming from now, unless we go back to Rwanda to learn.
Well, we might have to. Maybe they think that because these ones are Africans, we don't want to learn from them. That's what every time when we come up with something, they think that is not very good. But it's a good template that saying what people are living peaceably together. Why not? And they are progressing, doing very well. For the UK now to even say that they want to repatriate those who cross the channel to that place because they think it's a peaceful place. Now, why don't we learn from them? Okay, listen to Starr Radio UK. Now, Nicola Sturgeon has officially tendered her resignation as Scotland's First Minister. Ms. Sturgeon announced last month that she will stand down once a successor was appointed. Hamza Yusuf was elected to replace her as SNP leader on Monday and will be confirmed as the new First Minister in Holyrood vote on Tuesday afternoon. That's this afternoon. After writing her resignation letter, Ms. Sturgeon left her Bute House residence for the final time. She was Scotland's longest serving First Minister, having spent 3,051 days, more than 8 years in that role. Now she is gone, but Hamza, who is said to who is virtually won that leadership election, who's going to be taken over, they are saying that he is one who will champion the cause of the SNP.
Okay, actually, we congratulate him, but the other thing that we should take note of is that there's a change that is happening across the political space in the UK. I do believe that the current Labour leader again is coming from a Muslim background. I'm not quite.
I saw the name.
Okay. It's coming from a Muslim background, and here we have another who could have thought 20 years ago. There's someone who is not Scottish, or someone who, I mean, he's a Scottish, someone who naturally is not a Scottish, will actually lead the Scottish National Party and be talking tough. And this way again, we're going to see tough talking, because one thing we do know, and we see from what is happening with the current leader of Home Office. You see the previous one. Anytime you've had people who are not naturally, they want to impress, they want to prove a point that, and sometimes become more British than the Brits themselves. And therefore, Hamza has started talking more than a natural Scottish about independence. Well, we wish him all the best, but I think it's a good sign to say that, okay, in this country, we are now getting to a point where the dreams that people who migrate to America have, that is a land where everyone is possible and everybody is possible to achieve certain dream, can also be possible in this country. As we speak, Westminster is being run by someone who is not a natural Brit, so to call it. We see the Labour Party also being run in Scotland by someone you not consider a natural Brit, and here we have the Scotland, a Scottish again. It gives hope to a lot of people. It gives hope to some of us to say that okay, within the system it's now beginning to open. The barriers are now breaking. Juliet and others will now begin. I can also lead them one day, because if Hamza has been able to do it, the Labour leader in Scotland has been able to do it, and I can see Sunak also do it. Then me from Kenya, I also have the ability and the potential to be able to do it. Yes, we cannot rule out the fact that there's systemic discrimination in this country. It held a lot of people back. Sometimes you want to say you are psychologically told, or your mind psychologically told that, Frank, you are black. The first judgment, you are a criminal. Before you have to prove yourself innocent. Are you getting me? That is what comes to. I mean, what Atta did, Dinah Abbott didn't suffer. Even when she was in Nomeda, was a Home Secretary. What did she not go through? Are you getting me? But at least we see signs that the times are changing. I congratulate him on that level.
Okay, Julia says the good thing is, like their superb natural heritage and world's great coastal road trips, the identity with remarkable culture, treasures, outdoor activities in abundance, and increasingly vibrant food and music scene. Let's hope we see the good peace resolution. That is for Northern Ireland. And then she goes on further to say, how can it open when the illegal immigration bill some are pushing? See what Home Office Minister Suella is doing. Now she's talking about the fact that when you use us black on black, oh gosh, or we are, like you're saying, we become more British than the Brits themselves. And so that's where I think she is coming from. But I'm looking at the case where Nicola Sturgeon, she is
she was an institution.
An institution. Now she wasn't able to push that agenda through. Now we had Alex Salmon, who started the whole thing. Nicola Sturgeon followed, and then Nicola Sturgeon became like a proper force. Now she is gone, and then we have Hamza coming in. Though the Labour leader there is an Asian. Okay, we don't know whether he's a Muslim or this, but we know that he's an Asian as well. Now, but do you think that him having our Prime Minister Sunak, do you think they will be able to work hand in hand? Because the indigents, let me put it that way, the indigents of Scotland are going to say no. What agenda has he got? Would they even trust him that he's actually going to? Because this is your brother. You will try to do everything to prop him up rather than doing everything to destabilize him. So do you think that they're going to trust him when it comes to even electing?
Actually, the good thing is that in this country we have systems where whether you're a prime minister or not, you're supposed to be able to fulfill certain obligations to the state. And therefore your decisions at each point in time, you have to be responsible and accountable. You take a decision, you might be called upon to explain the reason why you took such decisions. If you look at what happened in Parliament last week, or was it on Thursday, where Boris Johnson was actually summoned to actually explain to a committee why, I mean, he's made certain comments. So there's a bit of checks and balances within the system. If it were to be Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, like I say, it's going to be a smooth ride. But whether they will achieve independence within his reign, we don't know how long he's going to be. He's still a young man. He looks older than his age, 37 years.
He's 37, but I look at him, I told him maybe 50 something.
Well, and I think I'm told he did a lot of good with their health system. And I do believe even Tinubu got him, he'll go to one of their hospitals because of what the 37-year-old man has been able to achieve within that area. I do not think they're going to be able to achieve the independence now. It's not going to happen because, look, the overall majority, yes, the mindsets are changing, and Brexit has even made it worse.
Yeah.
Because post Brexit, you see a lot of people now wanting to belong to the EU, than the UK.
Yeah.
There was one institution that the people were shy away from, and that held them back, which was the Queen. Now that the Queen was an institution that the Scottish, I mean, whichever way you look at it, people did not want to disrespect
the Queen.
That institution has also moved. So there are kind of barriers or bridges that are probably barriers that were built. I mean, the Queen was one barrier. What do you call it? Brexit. I mean, so those barriers are now broken. Could it make it easy for them? I say yes, it's going to make it easy for them. Will Hamza be able to see the opportunities in those barriers that are now breached and those gaps that are now gone to be able to exploit it? Yes, we'll see. And whether it's going to last, I heard a commentary yesterday where someone was saying yes, he might have won the party, but he's not popular within the country. Again, that's where you have he's not popular within the country. Why? Is it because he's from a background that is pure Scottish? What are his challenges? The challenges again will show similar faces. And if you look at the Conservatives, for a long time they've not won in that place. Their votes have been going down. So at the end of the day, who is going to contend? One thing we do know is that he will still maintain that grip over, but the numbers might drop a little bit. But when the elections are held, I mean, the next 2 years or so, or next year or so, they will still retain the majority in Scottish Parliament. That is what we do hope for, and that's what is going to happen anyway. Seeing Labour coming back strongly, the phases that are going to compete are almost the same. So at the end of the day, who will be leading? I've seen my Asian brother. Which one do I go to? Are you getting me? But I just hope that, I mean, we get to a point where truly we do not change publicly, and then inwardly, when that secret moment comes where we tender, or where we go to account and say, okay, we made those choices, we'll share away from doing what publicly we do, but our secret say, no, this is a Muslim, let's vote against him. This is a Muslim, let's vote. We know those campaigns will go on. If you Obama, it happened when he was president. We know they were briefing against him. Are you getting it? We saw what they call it, even Gordon Brown. He was not he was not British enough.
English enough. So
English enough. Again, when we saw Michael Howard, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Are you getting me? They were briefing against him. So let's just hope that a lot has changed over this time.
Yes. Listeners, we're going to be running up pretty soon, but let's touch on one other international story and then we'll bring it to a close. Looking at the war in Ukraine, there's lots going on there. Now, we yesterday in the night I was reading some countries that are standing, that seem to be standing with Russia still. Okay, so we've got some African countries and we've got some countries in Europe who are still, and we've got China and a few of them. But one of the countries that seem to be making lots of noise is North Korea. And North Korea assets first evidence of tactical nuclear weapon
undersea.
Yes,
the undersea.
Undersea one, and it's quite a scary thing that is going on. Do you see an end to this banter that is going on in Ukraine? Because everything now across the globe, whatever North Korea is doing, whatever China is doing, whatever Syria and Iran are doing, is all in, like, the battlefield is Ukraine. That's where the whole thing is being fought now. So what do you think?
Actually, I know this is going to be a bit controversial, but it's what is happening. What is being fought in Ukraine is not a war by Ukraine or for Ukraine. It is a control of resources. Africa is being determined in Ukraine, whether we like it or not. Kamala Harris visiting Ghana, Tanzania, and one other country that is going to go to, is all because of what is happening in Ukraine. Why do I say that, Archie? If you look at what has happened over the years, I was on a call last week, happened to do what the US government is thinking about Africa. You see they're a bit jittery. You hear them, where we had some consultant on a call talking about a little bit of projects in Africa, what can be done, you see that the US government is very apprehensive, jittery, wants projects where they can step in into Africa to be able to show that they are now our good brothers. Yes, they have shown they've done a lot in the past, but it has always come with conditions that have ended up impoverishing the majority. A few will progress, a few benefit, and therefore this year you're going to see a lot of US lottery. They're going to expand it more, they're going to offer more, they're going to see a lot of institutions are now being positioned even across the UK, Canada, to offer more scholarship to African brains. Why? Because they want to bring us here, train us so that we can go and fight against, use us as weapons of convenience against the East and Russia. That's exactly what Kamala Harris is going to do. Is not suffering the ground because the BRICS, the Brazil, China, and all those groups. There's a meeting that is coming on in what they call it pretty shortly in South Africa, and I dare say that the last 3 weeks we saw what do you call it, the United Court, the International Court of this thing, issuing this thing against Putin. It's because of that BRICS, because they're thinking that when he visits South Africa,
so they can apprehend him.
These actually, we need, when stories come, let's go beyond.
He will not be there. He will not be there.
I mean, no, he can be there, because at the end of the day, there's a test for loyalty and relationship. Because at the end of the day, when South Africa was suffering, when South Africa was being dominated, killed by the BRICS, where apartheid was enforced fully, the Americans folded their arms, saw it happening, fetched water for those who were killing our brothers, congratulated them behind the scenes, helped them with weaponry, strategies to be able to say that kill them more because your profit is our profit, because we are natural, but our relationship extends from the day Adam created us. Who were there to help them? It was Russia. It was Russia, it was Cuba that were there to help them. Do you think South Africa today supporting Russia, do you think they are doing it because they just want to do it? What would that suffering, the sacrifice that the Russians made, the taxpayers' money that they used to help Africa, to help apartheid, fight apartheid, what do you think would have accounted for if today South Africa, should stand, or South Africa should also say, when we were in need, you were there for us. A friend in need,
is a friend
indeed. So do you think South Africa would today say that although we are signatories to this international court, we are arresting the president of Russia? No. And then that will again spark something else, which will be, what is the value of signing on to some of those international courts? In another case, actually, why have we not seen Netanyahu and his colleagues being arrested, although children from Palestine get killed on a daily basis? Are you getting me? When George Bush authorized bombing of Iraq and other things, why have we not seen them being paraded? But I am not justifying anything. But actually, whatever is happening in Ukraine is a war that was needless and painful. Because history tells us that whatever happened in Cuba in the 1960s, when they didn't want
Russia to come and
actually, you are telling me that you do not want to eat my food. You are telling me that you are not interested in whatever I'm cooking. But I've seen you pick a big ladder, and anytime I turn my back, you are pushing your seat closer to where my food is being.
I'm just gauging.
No, you are gauging with a big long spoon. A ladder, of course, that is so huge that anytime I turn my face, you push your seat closer to where my table is. Are you getting me? Always, you are not even just getting closer. You are actually raising your seat, whether it goes springs or so that you can see inside the pot more. That's exactly what NATO were doing. That's exactly what was the interest of NATO, the US. What did they have in mind when they keep on trying to absorb Ukraine into, NATO. Why were they doing that? If they had no ulterior motive, why should we rubbish the concerns of Russia? I'm not saying what Russia is doing, the number of people who are dying. I'm not justifying it. But you see, the West has been so hypocritical that they want all of us to believe that whatever they do. Actually, what is happening now? China, Russia are positioning themselves, and they don't have a good boy in North Korea who will be able to also disturb. And so, well, if you think you're going to be disturbing Russia, China, okay, let's China also use their enabling bad boy and to show that
North Korea, they will be troubling your Japan and all those.
For you know, even some of those weapons are not being developed by North Korea.
Yeah.
Could it be that those weapons are being developed by China and being tested by North Korea? It's possible.
It could be. It could be.
Actually, it's possible. How much wealth? Yes, we know they have scientists. How much wealth has North Korea got?
Yeah, that they continue to be going on that path.
Are you getting me? So politics is being played everywhere. For us as observers, all I do is let me get my one-way ticket to down. When the first bomb drops, back to my yard. Juliet, don't forget where you are living. Take me along with you. Back to my yard.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, whatever is happening is going to be played out.
Yeah.
You look at Ghana now, controlled by the US security. You look at what is happening again, the Sahel region.
Yeah.
You look at where Togo is seated. The French are involved over there. You look at what is now happening in Burkina Faso, Mali, Chad, and all those. Russians are taking. Actually, a lot is going on. And then you ask yourself, Africans, where do we sit? This is a control, because it's a control business, business interest, oil interest, minerals interest. Congo, what is happening today? Massive exploitation when people are being killed. And you ask yourself, at the end of the day, if you're interested, humanitarian, why don't we save the thousands that are being killed? But we see jets going up and down, taking everything. Pobia is there, being, held by the French to still control a population over there. Actually, for me, I don't think it is in any man's place to stop the advancement of others just because they think those advancements will be used or be used as a way of defending themselves. If we can go back to even nuclear technology that Ghana, for instance, wanted to go to, our energy issues.
But it's out,
now Russia is having that on the table for us.
Really?
Oh yes. You see, but you see, Ajay, the West is making a very huge mistake. I met up with a lawyer. I had a dinner with one lawyer from one big lawyer from US, and talking to them, Ajay, you can see the admiration for whatever Russians are doing, even from within the US. So there are a lot of people within the system that if they have opportunity, they will even fight from within the system for Russia because the claim is annoying. This is a black lawyer who has suffered a lot within the system. He has suffered. He is a victim of the system. And now supports, I'm not going to mention the name, but I'm talking a very, very huge lawyer from within the US. I was watching a video yesterday where some people are even, pointing fingers at George Bush to have started the war in Ukraine.
How did he do that?
Because actually it was that time that the agenda to absorb Ukraine into NATO started. Today, as we speak now, each bomb that drops share the share value of certain companies that are into arm dealing goes up because a lot.
Yeah.
Germany is sending 18 sophisticated tanks. What do you call it? Britain has sent their Challenger 2. At the end of the day, they tell the USA to vote so much money, but those so much money are not going cash. They are going in forms of arms.
Yeah.
Are you getting me? IMF has given billions to they are ready to give billions to Ukraine. Meanwhile, Ghana is fighting for what? 3 million. And then you have you have I mean the vice president of US telling us project gay and all shall be done. Archie, let me say good afternoon to our father who art in
Uganda.
Anti-gay be your name. Yesterday, what I saw, if it is true, where he sent a tweet that he has just I don't know what.
That you said the one you sent me.
Yeah, that what they call it. He's just assented to what they call
that
it,
bill.
the bill, the anti-gay bill, and we saw whether I don't know whether it's Joe Biden himself or whoever his aide. There's a change is coming and say, you idiot. Change coming from where? I have today signed a bill banning homosexuality in Ghana. I will urge all other fellow African countries to take that step as well. We must protect our culture and beliefs. Let the West do what they want without imposing their disgusting immorality on us. Then Joe Biden, when freedom is coming, then Mussolini went, coming where? You idiot.
Wow.
I don't know if it is true, but that's what
I
know.
Yeah. Wow. Frank, we have to go now.
Let's go. We're going to Ukraine.
All right, listeners, let's say thank you very much for that wonderful time with you. We hope that you enjoyed the show. God willing, tomorrow we'll be coming your way with another edition of the morning show. But as I announced, this afternoon exactly at 1:30, we're going to be in the next 30 minutes. We're going to be having BB Clement on BB Means Business, and she is going to be hosting Michelle Raymond, who is a medical doctor, is the People's Partner HR Consultancy, and Dr. Easy Allison Omoroji, who is also a medical doctor, doctorized a woman's health and lifestyle consultancy, exactly at 1:30. So make a date with them when they all come your way. On that note, I say have a lovely afternoon, and we'll see you all tomorrow. But remember, in the evening we'll be bringing you the NHS time. Have a wonderful day and enjoy this song from Mika Paris, and she says, okay, my producer says that it was Mika Paris, but it was Stephen Marley who says the Babylon system. That is what is impoverishing and supporting us. Enjoy it and see you all tomorrow. Bye bye for now.
Hail and welcome to the 75th celebration of the King. See, Bob Marley. Love. 1, 2, 3.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Thanks for listening.
That's the way.